Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong corner. Damn it. The corner.
I'm over here.
Yeah, this one's record and this one's just a green dot. And I was like, it's still green. It's not red yet.
Oh.
That's why I'm sitting like an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to tell you this story for Mother's Day real fast. So Mother's Day, we had my parents and Chick's parents over here at the house, did a nice brunch, you know, the brunch king, you know, we did it up big. But so for to preempt everyone arriving, I was like, well, look, I'm going to move my truck and my van out onto the street. That way the parents can just pull into the driveway, easy peasy. It's nice. They don't have to walk across the yard. You know, I was thinking ahead. So I had, all right, so to start, I don't know really how to start the story, but so I go to move the cars and I've got my truck keys, my van keys in my pocket. I'm wearing a pair of shorts. I'm wearing them right now. Actually, it's hilarious. They're like one of my favorite pairs of shorts, and the left pocket has a hole in it. Okay. So left pocket's got a hole and I know it's there. I know the hole's there. I'm like, hey, don't put stuff in this left pocket if you care about it, because it's going to be gone. Well, so my truck keys are literally just, it's like key fob, my key, and my house key. Like I'm a minimalist when it comes to, I hate shit in my pockets.
Me too.
I hate stuff in my pockets, and I hate carabiners. I hate all that dumb shit. Like if I don't care about any. Like the one time I do want the retinal scanning is on my car. Just fucking open up and let me start.
Or like a credit card would be dope. You know?
Yeah, just something like, just not a fucking key fob. I hate keys and key fobs. Yeah. So then on my work key, literally it's just my fob. Like I only just have a fob. There's nothing else with it because it stays in my pocket. I put it on my dresser. But the first thing I do when I come home is I put it on my dresser, and literally the first thing I wake up, I grab my glasses, get dressed, and it's all there. You know, like I don't take it out of my pocket. So I move my van first, which is just the key fob. Move my van, park it out in the yard, run across the yard, hop in my truck, back my truck up, hop out of my truck. I'm like, oh, I can pull my van forward a little bit. Go to feel my pocket, and my van key's not there. And I'm just like, bro, like, you know, I knew there's a hole in these shorts. And like, I was just got in the zone of doing my things. And the key was, I put it right in my pocket. I looked in the van. I was like, there's no way. I put it in my left pocket. Like, I looked at my van. I was like, it's not in the van. I looked at my truck. I was like, did I put it in the cup holder? I was like, nope. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, it's gone. Like, it's somewhere in the yard is like all I was thinking, right? Let me find this one key fob in my whole front yard. And of course, panic brain immediately. I'm like, shit, now I got to drive all the way to Rockville to get a key from the office, come all the way back down here, and then go to work. Like, that's the first, like, that's going to be my Monday morning. I was already thinking worst case scenario. I'm like, damn, no one's here. Like, Chick's out getting last minute things. Everyone's on their way over. I'm like, what am I going to do? Have everyone, hey, can you help me look in the front yard for my key? You know, so I'm like, shit, I'm just like panicking. I'm like, this is it, bro. Like, you just gotta deal with it on Monday. Like, this is a Monday, this is a future Josh problem. And you gotta tackle it Monday morning at like 5 a.m. Like, I was like, shit, this is gonna suck. Like, this is gonna suck. So I'm like, just search the yard for like 5 minutes. You don't have much time. Like, the oven's preheating and everything else. I'm like, all right, man. So I'm like, search the yard. And I'm like, right as I'm like, I just reached my fucking point like 30 seconds in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, fuck this. I was like, I'm not finding this fucking key. And like, I stop, stay like right as I take my last step, just to, like, take a breath in, I step on the fucking key fob. I was like, yes. I was like, whoa. Picked it up. I was like, not happening anymore. And here I am wearing the shorts right now.
Yeah, that's wild that you're about to give up and then you stepped on it
so fast. I was like, bro, I'm over this. I was like, fuck this guy. I was like, I'm not finding it.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, like, I'm not finding a key in this whole yard. And then I was like, I stepped on it. I was like, oh, bet. I was like, good looks, man, or energy, whatever it is. Like, and that's what goes through my mind. Like, good looks. I'm like, all right, bet. Now I'll be extra nice today, like, to my parents and everyone else's parents. And it was dope. We whipped up brunch, bro. Jessica, Laura's sister, came over. Fire, sausage biscuits, and gravy. And we made French toast, eggs, bacon. We were drinking the wit mimosas, bro. It was a good little Sunday Mother's Day. Did you have a good Mother's Day?
Fuck yeah, we slay too. We had chicken and waffles, and then we had
then
we had steak and lobster. It was good. It was a good day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't even do dinner. Like, we were like, I only had one plate, and then I took a nap, and then it was interview time. So it was like, I didn't even do dinner. Like, I was like, oh.
The mimosas got you.
They did, man. Because I was doing, so I guess I was like, just to confirm the pink honey mimosas, there's like 2 ways to make them, I guess. So you can either just do a shot and then pink lemonade, which is what I normally do anyway. But I was like, well, let me just try some champagne there. So I was doing a shot or 2 of wit.
That what makes it the mimosa, right?
Then,
champagne?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and then just a splash of pink. Then I hammered like 4 of those quick. Because I bought these fluteless champagne glasses, so we were nice and bougie for Mother's Day, like give them out to the moms and stuff.
With the paint too, that's classy.
Yeah, it looked real super classy. Everyone was down, like everyone tried them and stuff like that. We burned through a fifth. We burned through like most of my minis. Like we were tearing them up, and I was like, damn, I did have like 5 or 6 drinks. I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm feeling pretty good. Like I was like, man, I wasn't like drunk, but I was definitely feeling nappish.
Yeah, nappish.
And I threw on a movie. I think we threw on Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Wow, remember that movie? Yeah.
Yeah, they just put
real
it back
porn
on.
Star in it. I don't know her name.
Yeah, Katie Morgan.
Ooh, maybe. She's no ass.
Katie Morgan. No, big old fake bags.
Yeah. I don't just not to get off subject, but I can't imagine that. Nothing against women like this. I'm not trying to sound like a douche right now, but the big titties and flat ass, like being like a thing that guys are into, like I don't get it. Yeah, like come on, big guy.
I'm an ass fella.
I like
women that like me. Like I'm lucky.
Everyone's got a preference of the other sex.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that chick likes me around. Like I'm like, cool, this is nice. Look at you. Yeah. You good over there? What's up? Maybe like, yeah, I'm just happy she puts up with my shit. Yeah. Yeah, because
she's got a great personality.
Yeah, that's what she says about me. Yeah, no, I'm a fucking third line plug with a bicep. What's up, babe? Bow. No. That's all like fuck.
One Whitney in. This guy's flexing on camera already, folks. Great. This is how you start an epi.
It was good.
Go. Boom.
Today was a good self-esteem day. I hope you guys are all doing well. Self-care, self-love is very important. I'm having a great self-esteem day.
That's great.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. Today feels good.
Wow,
been
should I get deep
I've just been smashing the workouts and curving my diet. Like I'm just trying to get back in the zone, and I'm feeling better already. Like I'm like really like 1 weekend of like really trying to get back after it. You know, like I've been like casually lifting 3 times a week, skating like every other day, nothing crazy, you know, just like getting through it. And like the other day, like last week, I was like, get the fuck back after it, bro. Like you're not lifting. I was like, you're not lifting heavy. You're just lifting to like barely maintain or just keep off the extra food I've been eating, you know? So I was like, get back after it. I was like, I haven't really been trying, you know, I kind of got complacent, not to get really deep. That changed gears fast. Sorry about that. But like, yeah, man, just feeling good, getting back on the horse, you know? You back in the gym inspired me. A couple other guys that I'm working with, they're back in the gym. So it's like, yeah, that's the push I needed. We're going to talk about this on the next episode because we really don't have the time. But Randy playing his professional, shout out to Randy and Intensity Soccer.
Yeah.
Intensity Plus Soccer. Watching him play professional futsal made me want to get back after it even more. You know what I mean? So he's been putting a lot of work. Shout out to him. But yeah, man, just everyone around me's been, you know, putting off some good vibes. So it's like, why am I cheating myself? You know, not doing what I could be doing.
Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be a good one to talk about. No, that'll be a good one to talk about.
This is the Men Behind the Mitts podcast. Hosted by Big J. And now, here's your favorite Buttes.
Great episode for you folks, coming in hot.
For sure. Yeah, that was a lot.
51.
That was a lot for an intro.
Yeah, we're here though. We're here and we're
welcome. That's how we do it. That's how we just dive right in.
Yeah, we go balls in real quick. Hey, it's aggressive.
Balls in.
I don't want to be
episode
so aggressive.
51.
That's how it is.
This is what happens. It's me and you talking. Like this is how we talk to each other. And I forget. And then I pull you into my vortex because I forget that people watch this and I'm just talking to you.
I know.
And then it's like, then I pull you in and then you're shouting shit. And then you're like, oh yeah, people like you got to chill. I'm like, there's no chill. Like that just is what it is. Like half a wit. Let's get wild.
Oof. I like the dance moves. You've been working on
like that. That's the chest, bro. So you get the chest and the neck working opposite.
I can't do that. Whoa, you look like one of those Egyptian joints. Get the fuck.
Yeah, bro. You just start messing with it and it's all rolly. All right, fuck that. Episode 51. What's up?
Let's go. Big things. We got NHL play. We got NHL playoffs coming up. We got fucking a great interview for you guys. This is a good one.
Yes. Yeah, super excited. We're going to dive into the playoffs real quick, guys. And we have, as Silk said, we have an excellent interview. GUBY from GUBY Customs. He basically custom makes like custom designs and wraps ice hockey skates for everything from professional all the way down to us beer leaguers. And he's got one hell of a story and it's awesome. So we hope you guys enjoy that. That's going to be after the NHL. And let's jump into the NHL. I don't want to spoil any more of the interview because it's so good.
No, we'll see. Once you boys meet the Gubinator.
The Gubinator.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
So big things happening. We're rolling into the NHL playoffs. They're approaching. Are getting locked in the divisions. Some of the playoff matchups are already secured. Out west, they're still battling for first, I think. But they're pretty much wrapping that one up too.
This is dropping Thursday for you guys, and we're recording the 11th on Tuesday. So a couple teams aren't locked in right now, which pretty much Silk said was all the West. But let's start with the West because we're going to finish hard with the Caps. Dive into that real quick.
Yeah. But, also, real quick, just around the league, there's been some firings.
Oh, absolutely. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah, Arizona Coyotes have fired Rick Tocchet, and the Columbus Blue Jackets let go Tortorella. So it's finally happened. We talked about this. I said, is it going to happen? It has. Hopefully big things come, but they've also already said that Line is an option for off-season trade bait. Like, so they're at a just scrap it and wrap it, So we'll see what happens. And same for Arizona.
I really feel that Line he's on the cusp, man. I feel like if he finds the right team, gets in the right environment and gets brought to life instead of pressure, I feel like he can really come to life because he's got the talent. He's got the raw talent, but he's a weird, I don't know. I can't quite figure him out with Waldo. I just can't quite figure him out.
Yeah, no, me either. I'm right there with you, bro. But yeah, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
No, definitely.
Out West, start us off in first.
Out West.
Las Vegas,
out west. We got
Colorado
Vegas going for the President's Trophy this year. I mean, they might seal the deal on that. I'm sure they'll be out by the time this is out. But yeah, we got Vegas in first as of now, Colorado in second, Minnesota in third, and St. Louis in fourth. So as of right now, that would put Vegas against St. Louis and give Vegas the home ice advantage, and would put Colorado against Minnesota, giving the Avalanche the home ice advantage. And we've talked a lot this year about Vegas and Colorado. These are some scary squads. I think Vegas, I think they're going to the final coming out of the West.
I don't know. I watched the game literally last night, Monday. Vegas versus Colorado. Colorado was hot, boy. They look good, bro. They look good.
Yeah.
Colorado, every year, everyone's thinking it's their year. So we'll see what happens. Mac needs to play a huge role in that. If it's going to happen,
sure,
he'll have to really step out, be his own. But yeah, Vegas, Chandler Stevenson, Mark Stone, like all these guys.
Look, it's their goaltending for me, Fleury and Leonard, bro. It's the goaltending for me.
Yeah, huge. That's huge, right? But you got to be able to score
too.
Like
that. Yeah, very true, very true. But Vegas, I feel they just keep a pace. They got that West Coast hockey pace, man, where they're just constantly cycling, constantly moving the puck. I feel like they bring the pace compared to these. I don't know, compared to the Caps on the East Coast. I don't know if Vegas's pace is up there.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
And I'm not a big Vegas guy. I'm not a Vegas guy. That's a lot for me to say that. And I'm not a Vegas guy. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I don't think Minnesota has a chance.
I don't either.
But they're going to put up a fight. You better believe that. Kirill Kaprizov is going to step out and shine. I really think he's going to put on a great playoff performance. I definitely think he's a candidate for Rookie of the Year. Some people are saying no because he played KHL a few years and that's a pro league. So, but he's a rookie to the NHL.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. He's showing out, dude. He's showing out. He's scary. He's dumb scary on that squad, but I don't know. It's definitely going to come down to Vegas and Colorado. in my opinion, unless St. Louis comes out of nowhere, which can definitely happen as well. But I don't know, that the West is definitely seeming locked one way or another. But I'm definitely interested in talking about the North. I'm liking these North matchups up here. You want to jump to the North real quick? We got Toronto's in first, Edmonton's in second, Winnipeg's in third, Montreal's in fourth. And as of right now, we got Toronto and Montreal squaring off, and Edmonton and Winnipeg squaring off. How do you feel about the Leafs going into this playoff round one?
Especially
I feel like the Habs
versus Montreal. I think this should be a W for Toronto, but don't sleep on Montreal. That we've seen them play some really good hockey. So who knows? It's up in the air. But yeah, if you're looking at this roster to roster, this should be easy peasy for Toronto in the first round.
Yeah, I'm definitely Toronto's got the gas. They got everyone. I
think you can almost expect them to win the North. Outside the North, it's a whole nother conversation. But I think as far as the North goes, we've seen what we need to see. They ran the show. That they should beat every single team that they're playing against.
So you think they would beat Edmonton when it comes down to it?
Yeah, for sure. Too deep.
Wow,
Too deep.
I like that. Yeah,
if you can make David and Draisaitl off the board. That's your only game plan, is keep them off. And then you let your entire Toronto offensive fucking squad, like Big Joe, Mitch, Nylander. I didn't even mention Tavares and Matthews. Like, come on, this is a solid. Bro. Yeah, Wayne Simmons. All these guys can produce.
Yeah, they got a fast team. They got a good defense. A lot of these guys. Yeah, the defense is going to have to be clutch for Toronto, because that's been their excuse me. That's been Toronto's weak point for a while. Has been their defense. And I mean, as of right now, they got it paired up. But like you said, getting out of the North is going to be something different. Yep.
It'll be a fun one to watch, though, for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that one going on. Those late games. They better have some early games, I swear.
Yeah, they should. The Toronto game should be.
I hope so. Let's jump out to the Central real quick. Get me lined up here. Carolina in first. Florida's in second. Tampa's in third, and Nashville's in fourth. As of now, I don't think they're all locked in yet. No, they are locked in, I'm pretty sure. But we got Carolina taking on Nashville. Oh yeah, we got the inner Florida battle here between the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. That's gonna be a hell of a matchup right there.
That's a tough call too.
Yeah.
Oof, that's a tough call. I'm going Florida.
You think Carolina? Well, I was going to say, let's go easy first before you jump into Florida. I was going to say, do you think Carolina over Nashville?
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
Carolina's been scary good. Nashville, no way. They might be able to get a win or two, but they're not winning the best of 7 versus Carolina. Nope.
Yeah.
We've seen Carolina in the playoffs, and they're only better now.
Yeah, I agree. But how about this Tampa, Florida? You said you're going Panthers on this one?
I'm going Tampa. I think the shine is going
Tampa.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going Florida. I think the shine is gone for Tampa. I think they got their cup. They're done. We'll see what happens with Kucherov and all that. But I think I don't know. Braden Point is next level. I think he's arguably top 5 player in the league. But
absolutely the wheels.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the Florida's chemistry, and the fact they're doing all this without Ekblad. How fucking unreal. Taking that nasty injury.
Yeah, still all that super crazy injury, bro.
Yeah, I hope everything's going well for him. But yeah, the Central.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shout out to him, dude.
I think if Tampa beats Florida, they win the Central Division. If Florida wins and they play Carolina, that could I'm going Carolina, unfortunately. Like I said, I've seen Carolina in the playoffs. A lot of these all-stars for Florida haven't really have as much experience, I feel like, in the playoff category.
Yeah, we do got to shout out Florida, though. Anthony DUCLAIR, you guys are going to learn about this in the pod. Get ready to see the Duke 2.0s coming from GUBY. He did a custom skate for DUCLAIR. You guys are going to hear all about that in the interview. We had to shout that out because DUCLAIR is looking forward. We did the interview with him, and the box the skates were in were right next to him, and he was shipping them off. I don't want to ruin it. I'm so excited about this damn interview, bro. Yeah. But sorry, back to hockey. But yeah, dude,
hey, I forgot to say, we were talking about the North. I was going to bring it up, but Ottawa, did you see Tim Stützle, because during his first hat trick there were no fans, a bunch of like kids showed up at the crib and threw that. That's so dope.
Threw hats over. Yeah,
that's so tight.
Such a good environment. So good for the kid to have that. He's still rooming with Kachuk, right?
Yeah.
He's still with Brady.
Imagine what that house is like.
I'd love, dude. I love that's like one of my favorites. Like next to Oshie and Wilson, that's like one of my favorite hockey bromances is the Chuck and Stutzel.
Really?
Just I love it, bro. Yeah, I just love seeing them together. Matthews Marner is sick. Matthew Marner's is sick. Matthews is the style guy, bro. The man.
Every time I see fucking mullet. I miss my hair so fucking much, man.
Couldn't have done it, bro. If I had hair, it'd be long all the time.
Yeah, well, no, I've committed to it. That's why I shaved it all one length, and I'm just letting it go. I'm not cutting it ever again. I miss it. I'll let it bald out. I don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, dude. Then the rock like the Lou Franciscetti, the straight bald patch and the curls on the back, dude. That's where the move's at. The curl mullet with nothing up top.
At least one maybe like an island, so I can like get a little like.
Yeah, I will never forget that. I think I got a. Yeah, this is a Lou Franciscetti stick right here, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget that hairdo, man. That thing is legendary.
All right, let's jump out. Let's jump out to the East, baby.
Yes, East. Let's go. Beast of the East. Pitt actually ended up taking first.
Yep.
Washington nipping at the ankles at second, Boston in third, and the Islanders in fourth. So we got Pitt playing the Islanders. I'm pretty excited for that matchup. That's going to be a fast series. I feel like. I don't know who I'm going to call the winner out of that. I don't want to say. But out of the Washington Boston, we talked about this on the pregame earlier this week. Dude, this is going to be a matchup. Boston has had Washington's number this year, even though we've put up some dumb point scoring games. This is going to be a big matchup here. I think we touched on it earlier, but this is going to be I feel like it's going to be a barn burner in the first matchup, and then it's going to be physical and gritty after that. And you said, I'm going to quote you from earlier. You said whoever wins the first game is going to win the series.
I did say that. And I don't want to get too far ahead here, but I want to backtrack a little bit. I'm shook. You don't have a winner in the Pitt Islander series
I'm
yet?
sorry. Go back.
No, I'm just. You said you didn't have a pick.
I don't want to say it out loud. It's gonna be.
Why don't you want to say it out loud? What the fuck? Why don't you want to say it out loud? Tell us. We want to know who you got.
It's gonna be Pittsburgh. It's gonna be Pittsburgh, and the Caps are gonna be facing Pittsburgh in the second round.
Oh no! I think it's the Islanders. The Islanders are so fast. They're so similar to.
You think it's the Islanders?
Yeah, I think the Islanders. Varlamov Marov is a stud in the pipes. Fast. And Tanev is back. He's such a huge.
This season.
I don't quote me on that, but that sounds. He's a stud. He's a stud between the pipes. That's where it does it for me.
Yeah,
on that one. Nothing against Sid the Kid, but I just don't.
I don't know. I feel like.
I feel like
Sid the Kid in the dude, Barzell's insane, bro.
He had 3 Boston guys on him.
I just had this.
Wolf.
I just have this feeling it's going to be Pitt, and we're going to see him in the second round, and it's going to be awfully familiar, and it's going to be a battle.
Well, we know what it takes to beat them now, so it's so funny that we see them in the second round. But yeah, that would be interesting. So yeah, back to Boston and Caps though. I think it's going to be back and forth. It's definitely going to be the first one is someone's going to take advantage of the other team not being ready. It's going to be one of those, and that team's going to win the series because they're going to win the first game, and then from there on out, we'll see back and forth on winning games. And it might go 7. It could go 7, definitely. I don't see any one squad running away.
I believe. Yeah, I'll shout out Denham. Denham called a 7-game series off the break. He said it's going to go 7. No matter what, it's going to go 7. So I feel like it has the potential to go 7. I hope it doesn't. I hope the Caps can squeeze out in 5 or 6, get some rest before going into round 2. Because we're not as young and youthful as we used to be.
Yeah, I'll probably change the way I'm thinking after the first game. I think the first game will let us know where we're at. And if the boys look good, because I'm real curious. We've been sitting. A lot of guys have been sitting. COVID. Kuzi and Sammy are on COVID list again. Ovi's been out for 7 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 8 games, sorry.
8 games, yeah.
Yeah, Oshie's been off and on. Carlson the same.
Carlson's, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Looks like we're rolling with V and Anderson.
Preferably.
Sammy's coming back if he's.
Yeah. We have no idea what's going on between goal. And I was just going to say, preferably, you want to be on a hot run going in. You know, you want your boys all to be buzzing going into the playoffs, kind of like Pittsburgh was. So it is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, 16 wins is all it takes. It's that it sounds easy when you say it like that. And these are going to be the 16 of the hardest wins that you're going to have to earn this year with this being the short season. I mean, this is definitely going to be a battle. This is the hardest Stanley Cup to win. This year is definitely the hardest Stanley Cup to win.
Really? You think that?
I think so. You think? I think it's harder than last year for sure.
I think last year was harder because there's no chemistry being built. It's just guys coming off. There's guys just coming off of a preseason straight into playoffs. It's different.
Right.
I think you can expect guys. This is where playoffs shine so much because guys are in a motion of already playing a season to where you see guys like DSP step up and play. Because he's got that confidence. Whereas does he make that type of difference coming off a break, coming off a preseason jumping in? Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So I think honestly, I think you got to think about the way the bubble life was. Everything was new for them. They're used to everything now, the travel, accommodations, all that. It was all new for them, missing their family, pandemic, mentally as far as the players go too. Last year I think may have been one of the hardest. So shout out to Tampa.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. I maybe I didn't mean the hardest, but I feel like this is gonna be one of the hardest fought. Like it's that every year just gets better and better. You know what I mean?
This is going to be a very interesting playoff this season because everyone's already been playing one another only all season. It's almost like it's like 4 different men's leagues, You're going to have some rivalries in each one of those fucking men's league, So definitely there's old history, there's new history.
When they finally clash, like for the Eastern Conference Final, for the Eastern Conference Final and the Western Conference Final, like when it comes down to that, it's going to be they're finally going to clash outside of the divisions, and it's just going to be weird. Who knows what's going to happen at that point?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to break down. It's going to be interesting though because there's so many good teams right now. There's so many good teams, and that's what was arguably could be the statement you made, this being one of the harder cups, because where we're at as far as team levels go, there's a lot of really good deep teams.
Yeah.
No one's really
and that's what's going to take too
with anything this season.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that with the Capitals, and depth is going to be what's needed a lot to win this cup. Depth and defense, and forecheck for me. That's going to be it. Obviously, you got to have scoring, but I feel like that comes second to none with a team of this playoff level and caliber. But I feel like if you got to maintain those 3 things, and that's going to do the cup for me.
You got a cup winner.
Cup winner. I'm going Caps all day.
Yeah. Who do you think they're playing in
2018 vibes? Who I think they're going to play? Man, it might be a repeat. It might be Vegas.
That would be sick.
It could be
That would be so sick just for the rivalry alone, too.
Yeah,
2018 rematch.
It could be Vegas. Could be Carolina. Who knows, man? That'd be wild if it was Carolina.
And that's the crazy thing because the way, depending on how it goes, it could be a Carolina-Washington Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
So
it's weird that can happen like that this year.
Yeah, or it could be a fucking Edmonton, LA final.
Yeah.
Oh.
LA.
Did I say LA?
Yeah, you said LA.
Las Vegas. Sorry. Las Vegas.
Okay, I was like, what is he? What's abbreviation?
LA didn't make it. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking LV.
No, they did not. LV, Las Vegas,
gang signs.
But I don't know. So man, that would be wild to see. But I'm pulling for the Caps, of course. I don't know who's going to become. Like I said, Carolina's deadly scary. Vegas is scary. I don't know. There's a lot of scary teams. Toronto's scary. I want to see them outside of the division, but that's going to. I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's talk hypothetically. The way the Capitals are firing all cylinders, we've seen some good hockey from them this season. You like them against Toronto
I was going to say I think we beat them physicality wise, which will shake them. I feel like
who's gonna control Tommy out there from running around and just being a menace?
Well, they got Simmons, but Simmons can't keep up with Tommy as is.
Halfway, yeah. Those guys train together
handle
too.
It. Yeah, let Raffle handle it. That's what's great going into this playoff season. It doesn't have to be on Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Give the guy a break. He's got
like he has been.
On him. Yeah, just let him focus on that. We got Raffle, we got Hathaway, and these guys aren't afraid. The whole line bang, Dowd, all these guys. They ain't afraid to bang.
Mm-mm.
That's not the problem. And
I think that brought the team closer together. Like that Wilson incident brought the team closer together. All right out
absolutely,
as Coach
man.
Oshie,
Not only
RIP, we have to, Coach Oshie passing away. So our condolences to the TJ Oshie family. But no, like absolutely. That happening like at the same time as this whole Rangers, and then he comes back and gets a Hattie. Like the
so
chemistry
stupid
right now for the game is just unreal.
Yeah, I feel like the Caps they've got the best vibe. They got the best vibe at any team. I feel like we got to secure our defense and lock down our goaltending. I feel like that's going to be our biggest That's what's going to be our Achilles heel, is going to be the goaltending. I'm nervous with that V, Sammy, and Anderson situation. Who really knows? And, I feel like our defense has got to step up, lock down the Bruins, get past them, and keep that momentum going forward.
Couldn't agree with you more, brother. I think we covered that quite well. The only last thing I wanted to talk about NHL wise is Jack Eichel news popping up. He was quoted on saying ever since his neck injury that the team has been kind of disconnected with him. It sounds like Eichel's unhappy. He didn't say he wanted to be traded, but this has got the trade rumor mill blowing up. So many teams.
Yeah, I see. Like,
once again, the Rangers are at the top of that list. Both times he's been mentioned for trade, the Rangers are there. Yeah, crazy that he'd stay in the same fucking state. But also, the Rangers would be deadly if they added Eichel, because they were scary this year. Yeah. They were scary this year. That I thought they were in the playoffs. I really did think they were going to make a push. And then you add in a Jack Eichel, plus they're going to be bringing in new operations with the GM and stuff, the firing. So,
yeah, who knows? Buffalo could shake things up. Who knows?
Yep. So we'll see what happens there.
I just want to see it. I want to see Zach. I want to see Eichel win. I want to see Jack Eichel
Me too.
win.
Yeah, and I think the NHL needs its superstars to be winning.
Yes.
If your superstars are playing on teams that aren't even making, like, think about how many good players aren't in the playoffs, which is gonna get more viewers than regular season just because it's playoffs. It says playoff on the guide.
Yeah.
People go, oh, what's this?
Yep. Playoff always pulls it in. It's crazy, man. Who knows? All right, let's wrap that on the NHL, guys. We'll get you moved on into this interview. I can't wait for you guys to check out this interview. GUBY from GUBY Customs. I feel like I've already given away too much, so let's just roll into it. So.
Yep, here we go.
All right, guys, welcome back to the pod. We've got a special guest joining us today on episode 51. We've got GUBY from GUBY Customs, the man himself here. Basically, he is a free thinker, a freelancer, a custom skate designer. GUBY, welcome to the podcast, man. It's great to have you with us.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get started, go on ahead and plug your Instagram for us so everyone can find you and know what we're talking about here.
So I only have an Instagram, and it's at GUBY_customs. And as soon as you type in GUBY,
it's up.
The blue circle pops up. That's my logo. That's so that's the only way that people find me. That's the way I've been contacted. And man.
It's so beautiful. Thanks for joining us, man. We've got so much to cover and so much to dive into here. Thanks for being with us. We're really excited to dive into what got you to where you are and everything involved with hockey, man. We're really excited to get this one going.
Caps fan too. Man, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh, I was gonna save that. That's a spoiler alert. Yeah. Goobs here is a big Caps fan, a big OV guy. We're gonna hit the timeout on that though. We're gonna come back to that. That's my second half of the questions because we touched on it the other day when we met, and it's like, wow, man, I can't wait to hear someone else's input, especially someone who's from Canada. You know what I mean? The birthplace of this sport, because the Canadians and Russians, we're going to save it. We'll come back to it. They always haven't had the best relationship when it comes to hockey. But
I totally get it.
Let's jump right in. Let's start us out, man. What got you involved with hockey? Like what got you started with ice hockey here?
Man, I've been playing hockey since I was a kid. My dad taught me how to play, and ever since I started playing on a team, I started playing on a team pretty late, like probably around 10, 11.
Okay.
Man, my first coach, I remember, like, I was at that age, I guess I was a little bit better than he thought that my other teammates were.
Okay.
And when the first thing he ever told me in practice was like, listen, take the puck, don't pass, just shoot. And I was like, now I've coached for many years, and now I'm wow. Well, that was awful. That was awful. Yeah. However, for a kid, I just liked scoring. I enjoyed it. Like, and at that time, I also didn't know what winning and losing was. So every time I scored, it was a good feeling. So I loved playing hockey. I loved scoring goals. Yeah. And then like this whole thing that I'm doing kind of started my first year. So I'm 37 now. I started customizing my skates when I was about 10 years old.
So you started right out of the break doing your own stuff.
Yeah.
OG to the game, literally.
Yeah, man. Literally. And I've been doing it ever since consistently because so it started you guys might remember these. So in the I guess mid 90s, the CCM tax with the white stripe on the side.
Yeah, my dad had a pair. I wore them for like 3 years.
I had a pair too, bro. I had a pair.
Everybody had them. Everybody had them. So I was sitting in the room and everybody had the same skates, and I was like, I don't like this at all.
At 10 years old, this is a thought. That is insane.
Yeah, I didn't like that we all had the same thing because we all had different numbers on the same colored jerseys. So I was like, well, I'm either going to do something to my skates. I have to do something to my skates. So I painted the white stripe blue with like washable Crayola markers.
Right.
And then basically that like blue became baby blue and then came white again. So then I started doing it. Like I was like, okay, so it washes off. So every game, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a different color every single game. Man. And so I was taping my stick with multiple colored tapes, and then I would paint my skates, and this is every game. So I started like this weird.
That's a lot of pre-game effort.
yeah, it was like
just your creative side alone. Yeah, like just your creative side alone at 10 years old. Most of that's just stored in imagination somewhere, and for you to be putting it into practicality is wild.
Yeah, it was just wanting to be different. And it wasn't just my skates. It was my shoes. When I would go to school, everybody had white or black shoes. I had purple. I had blue. Because either I painted my white ones or I made sure that my parents bought me the weirdest ones out of the bunch. And today, it's so good for me because I go into a store and all the things that I like, that I actually like, are the things that nobody buys and are on sale right away. Because they're the funky stuff, you know?
I dig it.
So I always find, I have an easy way to find all my stuff. I just look for all the colors and I'm like, oh, I'm going there.
Right.
Because all the regular stuff is all together.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be different. I always want to be a little bit unique. Yeah. And I think it was an attention thing. It was like, I wanted people to be like, where'd you get that?
Right.
And then, you know, as kids, we all lie. And I'd be like, oh yeah, my neighbor's cousin is a pro player and he got me these. And, you know, that's how it started.
So that was kind of a question I had leading into it. Were you, so for being different, so I went to give you a little background on me, I went to Catholic school for 9 years. Mm-hmm. So it was uniform. Everyone wore the same shoes, the same pants, the same shirt. Were you bullied at all for being different? Like, I kind of want to just see where you were on that.
Yeah. So my bullying or being made fun of started way younger. Like I also went to private school.
Okay.
In high school, so I did have a uniform, but by then I kind of grew into this. So my last name is Gubernator.
Gubernator, man, what a clutch last name!
I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So GUBY came from shortening my last name,
right?
And that was a hockey coach that gave it to me because he couldn't call me Gubernator while I was skating on the ice,
right?
So when I was younger, everybody made fun of my name. I was traumatized until I got the super good lie, and I was really happy about it. when Terminator came out, I was like, stop making fun of me. Terminator's my cousin.
Okay? Yeah. Got the Gubernator and the Terminator.
Yeah. So
I love it.
But then, you know, people started, you know, realizing that I'm maybe a cool kid. So we started like it got less and less. And then in high school, it was like, dude, you got a really cool last name. And I was like,
yeah,
thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Grew right into that name for sure.
So back to your question. Yeah. When I had a uniform, I would try to do as much as I can to not tuck in my shirt, to tuck it, like do the Gretzky and just do it like on one side. I would try. And then my shoes also, we had to have special shoes, and I would kind of cover them with my pants, and I would paint stuff on them. So I always like push the limits to see what I could get away with in terms of being different.
Right.
And it was very scary. It was very scary, and I did get made fun of, but I also never gave up. I always liked what I liked, and nothing else mattered really.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a long struggle, I guess, but I don't regret it. Like
So I love your take on it. Like, I love how you knew it was a struggle. You did it anyway. So I guess this is kind of, oh my God.
Holy shit.
Time is out, boys.
What
Everything's
happened?
fine.
You know what I'm thinking this whole time? Thank goodness you weren't a goalie. You would have had your hands full on switching fucking designs all the time,
oh
right?
my God, yeah, I know.
But that would have been a blessing if you were a goalie
Man.
too.
That
How
too.
crazy could you have gotten, man? Like for instance, the Warrior goalie pads I've seen where every single piece of the pad is a different color, like a rainbow.
Yeah.
I would rock those. Those are so hard.
Yeah.
So I can imagine.
I've played around with that website so much, and like they were able to do gloves before they were able to do goalie pads. I used to play around with that website and just come up with the craziest things, and then then I started doing this, and then it started catching on, and man, do I want to say thank you COVID era? I don't, but if it wasn't for COVID,
us two, brother, like we would just start it during the same, like right when it happened. So like a lot of things have blossomed out of a negative, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And that's the thing, right? You can sit down, do nothing, and wait, or you can do something, continue doing something that you like to get to pass the time.
Yeah,
and then something great happens.
Yeah, it takes all it takes is one break in this industry. It takes one break, and your life can change.
Yeah. So I wanted to jump back on it. The reason why I asked if you were bullied and stuff, it's because in today's culture, individuality and creativity is celebrated so much, especially in our age bracket now. Like, you're 37, I'm 32, going on 33. And I feel like people don't really appreciate things until their late 20s, their early 30s. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is just because a small example of, like, my girlfriend, she I guess you can call it thespian. She's a theater, she was big into theater and stuff like that. And all she did was get made fun of in high school. But it's like, I see all those same people that are making fun of her celebrating the Renaissance Festival. And it's like, hold on, these, this was all a joke 10 years ago. You guys made fun of it and poked at it and how weird it was. But now all I see is your Facebook celebrating, I can't wait for the Renaissance Fair. And it's like, hold on, these people have been living this way forever. So that's what I mean. Like, I just wanted to touch on that. And have you seen a change? Like, because you agreed immediately as soon as I said it, like you knew about where I was going. Have you seen a change from the acceptance from being so different since you started doing your own thing at 10 years old?
I've met people. I've eliminated a lot of people out of my life that forget it. And whatever they want to think now, and if they want to call me and go, hey, congratulations, well, I got one finger for them. But
my man.
But I've met a lot of people who they want to be individuals, and that was basically, I never, like, this is never a business. This was never a business, and it was never supposed to be a business. It was just something I like doing on weekends, and I always expressed that. I said, you want to be yourself, I want to help you.
Yeah.
And I've met people that just, although they want to help others be unique, because a lot of unique people are still being bullied, and that's because of their sexual orientation, their skin color, their whatever. So I've met like KURTIS GABRILLE, okay, who is not part of the LGBTQ, who is not Black, is helping spread the word of equality.
Right.
And like, he's an individual who is helping other people spread the word by using his own platform.
Right.
And I've disassociated. Whoa.
Well, you're good. Yes, sir.
I've kept away from a lot of people, and I've refused to work with people, basically because they don't bring like a positive message to what I want to express. And then, you know, I reach out to people who, you know, they want to help people and they have a good message, and that's something that I want to be a part of. So yes, I've seen a lot of people still struggle with being individuals, with thinking differently, who don't want to really conform. Like I've had people, like close friends from years, like close family members, they just go, this is like, your pastime is stupid, it's not going to make you money. And I was like, wow, where was the why what's the money thing for? Like, can I not like just doing something? Like, I can go spend money on whatever activity, but this is the activity I'm choosing. This is what I like doing. So this is my relaxed time. And then it just started catching on.
So how did it, so what was your, what got you to catch fire? Like, what was the big first notice for you?
Okay, if I go the first one, okay. So I was managing a hockey store here in Montreal, and I had met Mr. Wendell DUCLAIR. Okay, so Anthony DUCLAIR's father. And he would come. So Anthony was already playing in the Q, and his dad would come to the store with his younger brother Christopher, and they always liked that I was really honest, that I knew my stuff, that I always, you know, gave them good input, and I didn't try to sell them like just the best. I tried to sell them the right thing, and I always took like special time with them, and then one day he was like, listen, my son just made a team sponsored. Okay, so I won't name brands, but we'll do it like this. His team was sponsored by brand C, but he used to wear brand B skates. Okay, so we're all following, but I'm not naming anything. So he goes, listen, he's having a lot of issues with his brand C. But if you can, because I used to like draw a lot and I used to doodle a lot, and like I told him about what I was doing on skates and painting sticks and stuff like that. So he's like, can you take his old brand B skates and make them look like his brand new brand C skates? And I was like, yeah, for sure I can. And like, this is like before anything, right? This is like, I'm using markers up to this point, and then he goes, whatever it takes, I need my son to skate well, and he needs to do it quickly. So figure it out, you know, and just let me know what it is. So I was going to a flea market, actually. And because I had worked a lot with vinyls at the store on heat pressing jerseys and doing logos and cutting out vinyls, at the flea market, there was a girl who was cutting out car stickers. And then she goes, so I'm looking at it and I was like, I've seen this machine before. I've only seen vinyls that can do heat press. And then she's like, oh no, this, you just stick it on. And I was like, oh, you can stick it onto anything? And she was like, well, to a car or to a window. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I said, give me a piece. I don't want a sticker. I just want a piece. And she charged me like an arm and a leg. It was ridiculous. But I went back and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wrap this skate. And it failed. It's just like, it totally failed. You know.
So try one on wrapping wasn't the way to go.
That's it. But then I was like, there's something here. This is something. And then finally, I kind of used a lot of crazy glue. I used a lot of this is the same vinyl essentially, and then it stuck. But then I went to an arena. I put the skate there and I shot pucks at it, and it just fell off. And I was like, man. So now I'm spending but I'm like, I know there's something here.
It's there. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
it's there. You're working
Yeah.
towards the goal here.
Yeah. And basically I found some suppliers. I called the suppliers and I was like, look, I'm going to be wrapping a car that's going to be driving through like winter, and there's going to be a lot of like gravel hitting it. I need something huge. I need like thick, but I also can't, because so I told them that I was racing. So I'm like, it can't add weight.
Right.
And they were like, okay, well, you know, I'm not sure. And I was like, you have like a few weeks, figure it out. I need something. So I called a few suppliers, and then one supplier kind of said like, listen, we're going to try something. And I was like, you try and then I try. So we work together. And that supplier eventually became my supplier. And I kind of have like I don't want to say an exclusive line, but I developed something that's resistant to game situations.
Okay.
So
which is important.
That's all I did. Was like, at this point, I wasn't even doing designs. I just said, I need like a puck or a slash to hit this several times and it not rip and it not tear and it looks brand new. And then it did. And then so basically I made the skate, and now at this point, I think he like was almost growing out of it because it took some time. But he did show it to the brand C team, like people.
Right.
And they were like, look, it looks like a prototype. Our logo is very visible. So if you want to wear it, you can wear it.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So then
I was like, getting past that stage, like that's like approval status for gear. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was very big. And then nothing really happened after that. And then I started doing my own skates, and then I started doing like a lot of skates. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted the weirdest things, weirdest, but to me, the coolest things.
Right.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And that's how I'm going to practice. And at this point, I still don't have an Instagram account. I don't have Facebook. I don't have a computer. So I'm just doing it for fun. And then I went to the ODRs. And then a kid goes, oh, and he's just pointing at me. And then he like calls over his friends, and they're just pointing at me. And then they call their dad over.
Oh, it's just getting, start worrying at that point.
Yeah, you know, like why are these kids like pointing at me? I didn't do anything. And then they call their dad over, and the dad is like, hey, listen, where'd you get those skates? And I was like, I made them. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, like I designed them, and I kind of, you know, just made the design for them. And he was like, would you do it for my kids? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't see why not. He's like, how much you charge? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, I have no idea. So he's like,
whoa.
Okay, so the first pair of skates that I did, I charged, like, I lost money, let's say.
Right.
I didn't charge much. It was just, okay, well, it was more for gas to go there and then deliver.
Right.
Like, I live in Montreal. I'll drive to Toronto to deliver skates. You know, I do it because the people who I work with or work for, they become my friends, and I do everything for my friends.
Right.
So like I wouldn't work for somebody if they couldn't be my friend.
Right.
Whether they, you know, consistently are the best player in the NHL, or whether they're just a little kid, like, you can be a good person and you can not be a good person. So
very true.
I've always like wanted to associate myself with good people who, you know, they're just nice. You know, we could talk. It doesn't always have to be about hockey anyways. Just like,
just life. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, really important to not only be business driven. You know, it's important to have that extra touch, the quality. And I can tell you bring that right now, just like that, your personality, how personal you're being. Your desire is to build a friendship, not just a business relationship, man. And that's awesome. But just the fact that you can find that through the creativity process, which has got to be hard.
Well, it is and it isn't, because so when people, contact me and they go, I have an idea, but they have an idea, but they don't know what's possible, because this doesn't really exist. Like, you go to the store, you buy a pair of skates, Yeah. I always bought vapors because they looked the best. Whether they fit the best or not, they looked the best to me.
Right.
And I always bought vapors. Now, I don't really care what the skate looks like, because I'm going to make it look whatever I want it to.
Right.
But it doesn't exist yet on that level, on that scale. So, when people call me, they're like, I've always wanted to have like my jersey number. And I was like, okay, what else?
That's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. Just a jersey number. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go, well, I don't know, my skate is black. And I'm like, well, do you like black? Do you want it to be white? Do you want it to be yellow? What do you want? Do you want carbon fiber? Do you want it matte? Do you want it gloss? And then like, they're like, oh, what can I do?
You're giving examples and things that people didn't even know were possible on that spectrum for skates.
Yeah.
So people, they don't even have answers for you. They're like, whatever. I was getting ready to say, it's almost like when I talk to a tattoo artist, as you can tell, it's like, I always say, whatever you think is going to look best, whatever you think, your style, because I go to different people, so I know who I'm going to. So it's like, I know your style. This is kind of what I have in mind for you. So it's almost like you're doing that, just setting up their skates, but you're trying to pull information from them so you can build the skate for them.
Well, and I guess I've developed this over the years, or I was born with it. I don't know, but I'm able to vibe off people. I'm able to read them. And just by talking, and if to me it was very important, and every single person I've worked with, I've had a video talk with them, or I've met them in real life.
Yeah.
So I talk to them. I get information from them on, just things that they like, and just talking to them outside of what they want to know about their skates.
Right.
We get to know each other, because I have to become friends with you. And once I'm friends with you, I know you. So I'll be able to add things. You won't even say it. You'll say, just do my skates. And I'll be able to kind of make them for you. All my skates are one of a kind.
Right.
And they're one of a kind for you right now.
Right.
I have a guy, he's also a big reason why this whole thing started, but Shane Jackson, he's like an Instagram hockey freestyler. They do like the crazy tricks that
like
you're Jackson hockey,
Jackson hockey. You're like, how are you doing this? And him too. When he called me the first time, so I've done 5 pairs for him. Each pair is different, and each pair is because that's what you like right now.
In that time,
not last year, not last week, but right now, this is what you like, and this is, what you love.
Yeah.
So the first time he calls me up, like, I met him, and like, you guys know who he is?
Not personally, but I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say not personally. Yeah.
So like, huge flow.
Yeah.
Okay, like red hair, like just he's very unique. And when I saw him, he told me the same thing. He was like, look, he had black skates with black holders and gold blades. And he was like, this always stuck with me. He says, I do this on purpose. So when I train kids, I tell them that it's okay for them to be themselves. Don't listen to whoever's chirping you. Trust your own skills, because it doesn't matter what you look like. It matters who you are as a person and what you do on the ice.
Yeah.
And I was like, wicked, love it. I want to work with you. He wanted to work with me.
Yeah.
And then he's like, listen, like my logo is black and gold and my skates are already like black. So, I was thinking like maybe adding gold, and I'm like, all gold.
Oh.
And he was like, well, I'm like, no, dude, you want gold skates? I'll make you gold skates. So yeah, that was like my first kind of big client who had, you know, at the time he had like 10,000 followers. And then, you know, a week later he was like 20,000. And then he was just big on promoting. And then he called me like a few weeks later. He was like, I need another pair. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Man. And then it was, and then he kind of went like, okay, listen, the first one was gold. Like, that's kind of what I wanted. Now I want, you know, I want to do something crazy. And I was like, gold skates weren't crazy? You want to go crazier? So I did something. So he wanted one skate still black and gold. And I told him, I'm like, listen, man, right now, my trend is both skates are different. And he was like,
I dig it. Okay, I dig it.
And, you know, I could see that he was like, listen, if I do this, I'm going to be the first guy. And I'm like, listen, this is the thing. This is what's going to be going on like real soon. Let's do. So he's like, okay, do one skate black and gold still and do the other one, whatever you want.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I made him like a zebra skate. One was black and gold. And then the other one was like a chameleon. So it shifted colors.
With light?
Yeah, with light. So it became blue, green, and purple.
Right.
And then
it
had
like
white.
Iridescent or something like that.
Yeah, chameleon, iridescent.
Yeah.
Like they have a few names, but so it would change colors and then it had white stripes, and it was so nice. It was insane.
Bro,
And
could you imagine someone wearing that in a game? I'd get so fucking distracted.
Well, so I was getting ready to start to interrupt you, Gil. I was getting ready to say, like, Silk and I are both like he's a sneakerhead still. Like, I'm borderline. Like, I like shoes, I just don't collect them anymore. So like I used to collect a lot of like Nikes back in the day, and I always liked different stuff, man. Like Paul Rodriguez, one of my favorite lines of Nike SBs, because the colors were always different: lime green, gray. And I kind of pride, like I just from my experiences, I always like to be a little different. I never like to be the trend guy. I always wanted to be a little different from what was going on. Does that resonate with you? So like I feel like I see
well,
it
I was just thinking,
like,
you brought up the shoes, and then he's talking about all gold. I wore my all gold Nike Air Maxes today, and the 24 karat gold ones. So I'm right there with you. Like for me, like I'm that guy. It's always been about what's on my foot. I haven't gone crazy with the skating, the paint and stuff like that. But like back in like roller days, I had the all white Missions. You know, I was a big fan of the all white Nike Vapors. Like obviously, I wasn't advanced, creativity as like painting, but I had a thing for the different styles compared to what everyone else had. Another thing with the Reeboks, the 6Ks when they came out.
Yeah.
Those were tight.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was always, I talked about it before in the pod. I'm a graph guy when I was younger. Like when I was
Me too,
coming up through my teens, when I saw someone with graphs, I was like, bro, that guy's good. All black boot, tiny yellow G. I was like, that's a clean skate. It's an OG skate. And if you got graphs where I was from in DMV, like, you were legit. Like if your parents could get you graphs, you earned graphs.
Yeah.
So it was like to see that just that G, that lime green G did it for me.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine.
I also got creative, especially in roller hockey. Like before tournaments, I'd like, I need wheels for the tournament. I'd mismatch colors. I'd put them a certain way.
Yes.
All that shit. Roller hockey, I really got to get creative with it.
Dude, I do it now. The last tournament, I put 2 wheels in, like my 2 middle wheels were in, so the outside was blank. And then my front and back wheel, I faced out so you could actually see the label. I'm always in for stuff like that. Make it something a little different, man.
And that's the thing, right? It's these little things that maybe not everyone will see, but you do it for you. So you do it for the look good, feel good, play good type of saying.
That's the Silky Mitts motto, baby.
Yeah. There you go. And there you go. And you know what? I've added to that because I got a knee injury playing hockey a while ago. And then so I added, if you can't play good, you at least got to look good.
Right. I like that.
So it's a play on it, but for a certain period of time, I couldn't play. So all I did was I would put on my skates either to watch TV or just to like be at the rink. And then I was like, hey, you know what? At least I look good.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's an important step, though. That's part of feeling like yourself, bringing
builds confidence too on the ice.
exactly what you said is coaches, because coaches have ruined sports for me in the past. All it takes is one coach to say one thing at that point in time, and you're like, maybe the sport isn't for me. Like, no, it's not the move for me, you know?
Yeah.
So, and to be able to have that freedom and the creativity and be able to follow that, that's where it's at, man. Like, I'm a big fan of individuality for sure.
Yeah. And I like, so it, with all the people that I meet, that was the biggest thing for me. And, you know, like I was talking about the color changing ones when I met Jonathan Drouin. And I just want to take a side note here that hockey players, as much as we idolize them, okay, they're all humans. They're all cool people, and they all have a life outside. So
they're super regular guys, like hockey guys. That's why I love hockey guys. Like, you're a hockey guy. You just want to hang out.
They're
with
not
the
like
boys.
superficial, like, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what's kind of cool, and we've talked about it before too, is a lot of NHLers. I mean, out in public, they're almost camouflage. You don't even know that, you know, because they're not publicized with the face, and they've always got the half shield on, or you know them by their jersey and their number. You don't know them just by their face. Like, I've swore I've walked by people before and been like, who was that? You know, let me do a double take outside of Capital One. You know, so a lot of hockey players, they're kind of under the radar when it really comes down to it.
Not in Montreal.
Well,
and
yeah,
in
that's
Montreal. So here's my side note is because JD92 is part of GUBY Nation. I want to take this side note just to be like, listen, I don't know what it is. He took a leave of absence from the team, and we just want him to get better, to deal with whatever it is. And he's a human, and he's a great player. He's super talented. So he'll come back when he comes back, and that's, you know,
what's the scoop on that? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. So Drouin stepped out.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he took a leave of absence for personal reasons, and that's all I know, and that's what everybody knows. And look, everybody deals with everything. Like, everybody has all their own things to deal with. So
we saw with Panarin. You know, that shit happened with Panarin. He had no issues. Like, sorry, hockey comes second to my family, my personal life. Yeah.
Exactly.
So not to get too far sidetracked, being a Montreal native, and you said how critical hockey is there. How do you feel about their media? Is ruthless, man. Like, Montreal's media will literally torch somebody for, you know what I mean? For one night, for one game, they will torch somebody.
Yeah, it's so I stopped watching like the media. I stopped watching like TV. So I have like the NHL Network, where I kind of don't have to hear anything from outside of the game.
Just game announcers, the best thing ever. That's all I have too.
And I loved. So I was a huge Montreal fan when Kovalev played. Okay, Kovalev was a superstar, and everything about him was a superstar. They would comment on his hair because he had an awesome flow, and then like, he had the weirdest skates. He was a magician with the puck. But when he played in Montreal, yes, like you said, one game he wouldn't score, and it's like, oh, you should retire.
Right?
Like, what? What are you saying? And then the next game he would score 3, and they're like, oh, he's back. Well, it doesn't work that way. You can't just say that. Just let them play. Carey Price, potentially one of the best goalies ever. Just if he and not even a game, if he'll like let one goal in, they'll do like this weird comment, and then it's like, listen, chill out. Games, you know, like, other teams can score. Yeah, you know, it's not
the flows of the game.
Yeah, like, he's not gonna have 82 shutouts a year. You know, it doesn't happen. So, I do think that I think I've heard it. And okay, so I hear it in the media where players don't want to come here because of the media. Whether that's true or not,
right? It's
something that, you know, you do hear. And because I have lived here and I've followed the Habs before, I do, like, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, you're right. But then sometimes I'll be like, calm down. Like,
right.
Whoa, this kid is like, you know, 19 years old. Why are you why are you dumping on him so bad? You know, or this man is like 35. Like, why you dump? Like, yeah, but that's their job. They do it.
Right.
You know,
well, now it's almost like it's like you got to have the clickbait. You know, you got to spark the headline to get the most frustration, you get the most likes, whatever. But
that's the thing. So we were talking about the skates that change colors,
right?
And Silk was saying, like, if they were in the NHL. So when I made JD, I had a trunk full of like skates that would like are basically my samples. And every time I change them up, you know, I use them at the outdoors. You know, I kind of show them off wherever I go. And I did have one. I actually have it right here. So I had one that's like this.
That looks so hard.
Yeah.
So it does change colors and it does shift. And so I was talking with Joe Drouin, and he's like, oh, you know, like, I just want, he had like beat up 2S Pros. And he's like, yeah, listen, I saw what you did to DUCLAIR skates. I just want like to black out all the gold. I want to black out all the silver. And I want to like revamp the carbon, just make it look like brand new skate, but all black. But then like, I know that that's what he wanted and that's what he asked for. But I also saw him looking at my other skates. And then as soon as like the sun hit that the color shifting one, he was like, yo, what's that? And I was like, well, this, you know, I kind of just turned it around. And right away, the first thing he said was, imagine if the Habs ever go to a Winter Classic. And I was like, yeah. Go like, and then I was kind of like, go on, like, what do you want?
Say it out loud.
And then he's like an all-star game, a stadium series, a heritage classic, a something, just anything that's like a special event. And then I was like, this is exactly what I want. And he was thinking about it already. So when I met him, he just kind of told me all black. And then I was like, you know what? I know what he wants. But he didn't ask for it. So I'm going to take a huge risk and I'm going to do something for him, where I basically shaved off the 2S Pro logo. And then I turned it into a JD92. I made it his own. And like, I wasn't telling him about it. And then I was sending him pictures. And then he kept saying, like, is the 2S Pro going to be all blacked out? And I was like, yeah, you know, it will be. And then finally I kind of said, like, listen, I'm going to show you something, and just, you know, I already did it. So I hope you like it. And I was super nervous.
Fucking ballsy. That's so ballsy too. Wow.
And I know like, sometimes I do things and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, he didn't ask for this, but I feel it. I feel it. And then I sent him a picture, and I believe he was hanging out with Josh Anderson at the time. And he goes, oh shit, I love that. And then he wrote, Josh Anderson also loves it. And then I was like, oh shit. So I was super excited. And then I literally gave him back the skates, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a second pair now. And I was like, so what he did was he gave me, so the way he works is he has two pairs that he alternates, and then he'll practice with one and then play with it. And then he'll practice with the other one and then play. Like, he kind of rotates his two pairs. So he's like, okay, you give me back these ones, I give you back my other ones. And then right away he was like, I said, do you want the JD92? And he just like,
yeah.
You know, so I was like, good. You know, I did something that he didn't know I could do or didn't know could be done.
Right.
And I did it and I showed it. And now he's like, that's what I want.
That's the move. That's your art, your artistic side, your creativity, and sticking with like your gut feeling of like, he didn't ask for it, but he wants it. Like he wants this design. He doesn't know it's doable, doesn't know it's possible. You do though. And that's so awesome that you just you took the leap. That's a big leap, because what if he was like, nah, I'm not feeling
Dude, I told you not to do that. I just like this.
Yeah.
But that's like also at the same time, like, you know, Josh Anderson right then and there seeing what you can do too. Like that's the best advertisement too, because who are these guys wearing it in front of? Oh, other pros that can throw countless money at their equipment. That's so tight. The possibilities now that are going to happen. Oh my goodness.
It started with, you know, so with Curtis Gabriel, we started talking last June. Okay. So now the 1920 season is already canceled. There are no playoffs. And now the whole Black Lives Movement starts. The George Floyd thing starts. And I had made a skate that, look, I believe in equality. Okay. I believe in, you're not a black hockey player. You're not a native hockey player. You're a hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You play on this team. Okay. On that team, you're all the same. You play as a unit. So I believe in equality. And I had made a skate, like a Black Lives skate. I kind of did some like inside stuff. Like I put a huge red and gold X from Malcolm X, but it was like the huge, like it was the major part of the skate. I wrote Black Lives Matter on it. And then I had specifically wrote Duke on it because I wanted to show DUCLAIR's father, so he could then show Anthony DUCLAIR what I can do. And I think that was the moment where, you know, some players would be like, yeah, I want something. I want to express my message, whatever that may be, on my skates, because that's the only part of the equipment that I could customize. I have no sponsors. I have my uniform is all given to me. My helmet is, well, now they have sponsors, but my helmet is my helmet. So the only part is maybe a small portion of their stick and then their skates. So I made that skate, and right away I started getting a lot of hate, but then I also started getting a lot of support. Yeah. And that's when I noticed what Curtis Gabriel was doing, and I kind of I sent him a message, and my message was like that waving emoji. Right. And then I just sent him the picture of the skate that I did. And right away he goes, oh shit, I've been thinking about doing something like that my entire career. Let's talk. And we started talking. And then basically he told me, he was like, look, I have 2 pairs of skates. At this point, he hadn't signed yet in San Jose. And I think he told me he was going to Europe. And at that point, there was no restriction. So he said, I have 2 pairs of skates. And then he was like, I want 1 pair for the Black Lives Movement. I want 1 pair for the LGBTQ pride. And I was like, listen, right now I'm like really into doing 2 skates different on the same pair. And he was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then I kind of like, I was like, what I can also do is do the 2 skates different, but then on the other pair, reverse them in case you want to wear them like together. Right. And he was like,
oh, good move, man. That's a good move.
But he goes, no, don't. I want both skates different, and I want both pairs to be exactly the same. And I was like, okay, so done. So he sent me his skates, and then I started working on them, and I finished 1 pair, which was not at all the rendering that I kind of did for him. And I don't use any computers. I drew it out on a paper, and I kind of showed it to him, and he was like, yeah, do that. And then I did something completely different. But he was in, like,
that seems to be a trend here.
Just kidding.
So, but he was really involved in the design too. So he's pretty creative too. And we did a lot of back and forth. And when I I showed him what I wanted to do before I actually did it. He was like, yeah, listen, I like that idea better than the first idea. And what it was like, so he has true skates, and the whole heel was going to be a rainbow for Pride. And basically we kind of agreed that for the NHL, because now at this point he was going to Europe. Now it was looking more that he was going to stay in the NHL. And he was like, they're a little bit conservative, and I think there's rules. So he was like, try to like, dim down the rainbow on the whole heel. So I kind of made this color shifting thing that I kind of just showed you guys, but it was like a rainbow. And then it was written in red, love is love. And then the whole true logo, the side of the skate, that's a rainbow. And then he was sending pictures to somebody in the NHL to see if they could be approved. And without being answered, like it was time for him to go play. And then he wore them. The San Jose media did like a huge promo on them.
Right.
It was like very big. And then all of a sudden it was like, people are calling, people are looking at my Instagram, people are going like, well, okay, so this is Pride, this is Black Lives, what else can be done?
Right.
And then I kind of just keep sending pictures of the stuff that I do, and it's like, well, I can do whatever you want, but what do you want? Like I can do whatever.
So at this point, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Are you wrapping these? Is this the wrap that you got, figured out through your supplier, or is this paint, or where are we at with the
I was
process?
actually saying the same thing. Like, have you,
Yeah.
It sounds like you're using like a vinyl. Have you thought about using a paint with like an acrylic, like clear over top for hardener or something? Is that a thought?
So I have an airbrush kit.
Yeah.
I have done a lot of stuff with shading, and the thing with paint is that it's very decorative, it's very heavy, and it'll chip in game situations.
Right.
So I do a mixture of this vinyl that I developed, a little bit of paint. There is a huge preparation to be done on the skates.
That's what it sounds like itself on the skate. It sounds like you're sanding, grinding, all types of stuff.
There's a big prep to be done, and that depends on the if they're brand new or if they're used. So the prep is basically the same, but if they're used skates, like it takes a bit longer.
Yeah, you need a smooth surface.
So there's a lot to do. It takes me roughly, depending on the designs, like 5 to 8 hours to do a pair. And like, it's like, it's fun for me. So to me, it's not the time. It's not just that I get it. It's like a brain workout for me.
I got a question. Can you, like where the eyelids are, where it's kind of like, I guess, a leather or whatever it is. Can you change the color of that?
So
like, could you make a skate boot look like a brown leather boot like you would wear? You see what I'm saying?
So that's coming. Okay. So
all right, cool.
So there's a plan for this summer where I'm reinvesting. Okay. So basically this is the first year that I'm operational and that I have skates in the NHL. I actually have a box right there that I have to ship out tomorrow that DUCLAIR, this is his playoff edition skates.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay. Man. Like, and so
wait, he's like still getting different pairs. Like, hey, I got this coming up. I need you to do a pair of these or this.
Yeah. So Duke is like, and what's cool is that like we FaceTime each other. So I call him Duke and he calls me GUBY, and I'm just like, I watch you on TV.
Yeah, man, that's so
and
cool.
He's having a fucking year this year. Florida's the real deal.
So Florida is okay. So
I've always been a fan. I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Since 2004, I've been a huge Caps fan because I watched GR8, the Great 8. the one and only Alexander Ovechkin, when he was in the juniors. He wore a mirrored visor. I bought a mirrored visor.
Oh yeah.
Okay? I wasn't that good, but I looked like Ovechkin. I looked like Ovechkin.
Remember, he had the red holders too, I think, in the Olympics. Oh my God.
Yeah. So Ovechkin was a huge guy for individuality. He was completely different. He wore the long laces on his pants. He had weird padding.
Always wear yellow laces. Remember yellow laces?
Yeah.
Tongues out, big tongues out guy.
Everything was always different. Everything was always flashy, and he was able to back it up. So I was a huge fan of Ovechkin, and ever since he came in the league, I was like, okay, this is my guy. This is the best player in the league. This is the best player until he retires. And I still think the same thing, with no disrespect to 97 or 87 or the younger players who are coming up, because yes, but if I have a fantasy pool going, I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm always going to take Ovechkin.
Wow.
Because he's the guy.
That's huge. Because I don't know if I would say the same thing.
I'm
born and raised Caps. I think I'm going McDavid #1.
I love him.
That's awesome though.
So he was somebody that made me rewatch hockey. Like at that point,
he did that
a little bit.
He did that for a lot of people, I feel like, and then that's why it blew. DC literally became a hockky town. It felt like
absolutely,
because of the OV era. He really changed hockey. He really did.
I totally agree. And then when they started putting like Backstrom, and they started putting like when Oshie came in. I liked Oshie as a St. Louis player, and I still see him in like that baby blue and yellow.
Yeah.
70.
I see him in the USA jersey though every time.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oshie's one of my favorite players. I'm just saying, Oshie's one of my favorite players.
But you know what? He's a cool guy, and based from what you know on the media, he has a smile. He's a genuine person, and I've met people who have trained with him, and they're like, yo, this guy is like, he's whatever you think he is, that's exactly what he is, man. And I love that. Okay. And I love him. He's extremely talented. I still think he's really underrated.
Yes.
Not as underrated as Barkov in Florida, but
big time slept on
Nicholas Backstrom. Just saying for
like there's so many underrated players and on the Capitals, and I like the whole team together. I love them. Okay, first of all, their jerseys. Okay, when Ovechkin was like a rookie, the black and gold.
Oh yeah, the capital joint. Yep.
Yeah, so that one, and then that like the retro they have this year, but when it was like the blue one, like so that
all blue with the eagle. Yeah.
Oh yes. So their jerseys, first of all, are like classic,
nostalgic.
I even love the one with the stars. Their pants.
That's my
pants
favorite.
with the stars on the side.
Yep.
Like it's super old school, and it's so that goes. So first, it's style. Okay, style is number one.
Style points.
There you go. Ovechkin, when he came in with that blue mirrored visor in the All-Star game. When he did that, I was like, this guy's a beast. Like
hung out. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like
some young Russian kid flexing. Like, I am the next one.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yo.
So he goes when he did the I think he did the fastest skater competition that year with the blue visor. And I thought to myself, like, I never thought of him as fast, and I honestly don't even know who won. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I don't think it was him.
Skated,
I remember thinking,
Ovechkin skated, and he looked great, and that's all you can remember.
Yeah,
we'd have to look it up.
He's got a short, choppy stride. Like he's not the fastest player.
He
but
used to be explosive early in his year, and that's what it was. That quick stride, he was able to blow away from people quick. But back on TJ Oshie real quick, when you said you've talked to people that have trained with him and stuff, and they always say he is what you think he is. I've been preaching. I've said it lately. Like if you were to introduce someone to hockey for the very first time, TJ Oshie's my guy. The very first. Oh, you want someone to watch?
Yeah.
Meet TJ Oshie. He represents hockey and what hockey is.
Yeah, watch all of his mic'd up videos, everything behind
his
the
interviews,
scene with
interviews, exactly.
Yeah, and behind the scene with the teams, like you said, the Caps team, and we talk about this all the time, they are having the most fun. Like that team, when you watch anything on Instagram with these guys hyping each other up before the game, we all know every team has their rituals, but these boys do it not for ritualistic reasons. These boys do it for fun. Like you can tell.
Where's
Z? And then he comes around the corner.
They're vibing. They're vibing. They're on another level.
And you can't take that from a team. When a team's got an attitude like that, when they've got the clickness, they get on the ice. That's transparent. That fully relates to the way they play hockey.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin Williams. That all started when Justin Williams came through the locker room.
He changed the locker room a lot. Him and that goofy hairdo for team picture.
And it also started with Bruce. When Bruce Boudreau was there, he started changing the locker room around. Dale Hunter came in, coached 1 year. He got Ovi to play defense. Now Ovi's a two-way player a little bit.
Right.
And then Justin Williams comes in for the locker room, and it's just like everything fell right into place. And then 2018 happens. Oh, we can talk about that all day.
Oh man, I cried.
Yes, me too.
Oh yeah,
because I felt it. Yes. I've heard what the media says about Ovechkin.
Brutal.
And I was like, you don't ever say that. He's the most unique. Like, there's nobody like him. There has not been anybody like him since. I'm gonna want to say Cam Neely. Okay, we're going back a long time.
Yeah,
there's no player that's as big, as skilled, who can hit, who can score, and he can
Mario.
pass.
You don't think Mario is up there?
Oh yeah. But Mario was before Neely.
Okay,
but Mario doesn't hit all that much.
But the way he was able to play the game based off his size and control the game with his size.
Yeah,
very
he could
OVS.
definitely control the game.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. But so now if we're going to the Duke story, so the Duke story goes. Man, I'm looking at. I sealed the box. I would show you because the skates, but I sealed the box already. But so when the whole Black Lives things happened, so his dad lives pretty close to me here in Montreal. So I went to his house, and he's like, "Listen, Anthony's gonna be here. You should show him what you do." And I was like, man, I'm nervous. This is like a player who was in the All-Star game in 2020. He was in the fastest skater against Connor McDavid. They did a close-up on his skates, and now you want me to present him some skates? And he's like, listen, I know you're passionate. Just show him what you do. So I showed up, and I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. And he's like, super nice guy. He's at his dad's house, so he's like, he's like the kid at his dad's house,
Right.
And his younger brother's there, who's we've known each other for years now because he used to come to my store. So I meet Anthony, and I'm like, congratulations on the All-Star thing. He's like, thank you. And I'm like, listen, I'd like to show you something, and I think you're gonna like it. I hope you like it. I need you to like it. Let me just show you what I do. And then I kind of pull out some skates. I show him the Black Lives skate that I made with the golden red X. And he's kind of looking at them, and he was like, listen, man, this is it's really flashy. It's really loud. That's not me. And I think that what he was trying to tell me was he's seeing what I did as my sample skates, and because he doesn't know what else can be done.
What can be done, yeah.
He's like, what those exact ones are not what I like.
Right.
And then I was like, just, I kind of look at his car. And I looked at his car, and it was a rental, and I thought it was his car. And I was like, fuck. So he was black, with black rims. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to do something. And I was working on something. I was showing his dad some stuff because I was texting with his dad, and all of a sudden, Wendell sends me. Wendell, like the dad, he sends me like the message that I kind of wanted, but I was terrified of getting. He was like, Anthony's ready to do some skates.
Right.
And I was like, oh. So now I'm like, okay, am I going to do this through you? And he sends me his phone number and he's like, call him. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, kid in the candy store right now.
I would have been
You
giggly as shit.
you want me to call an NHL player? No.
Nah.
Right.
I'm just a guy, man. I'm just
a guy, a regular
guy.
guy.
I'm a regular guy. So I'm freaking out, right? I'm freaking out. And then, I composed myself and I was like, yeah, I could do this. I like what I do. I can talk about it.
Right.
There's no issues here. So I call him up. No, I text him. First. I'm like, yeah, when are you available, to have a conversation? He was like the next day or something. So I call him up and we start talking. And then he's like, what I'd like is I'd just like to black out my skate. And I was like, okay, well, that could definitely be done. But like, why just black out the skate?
Right.
And it was like, well, it's a message for the whole Black Lives Matter. And at this point they had made he was part of the inaugural group of the HDA, with Akeem Aliu and Evander Kane and Matt Dumba and Seth Jones. And so they made a group for equality. And I was like, well, why don't I put that logo on your skate? Why don't we put like the letters BLM? I could do them in red or in gold or in white. And he was like, no, I just want my skate black. And I was like, how about I make your skate black, but then in a different shade of black, either a gloss or a matte or a something. I write all these things. Nobody else will know. Nobody will see it.
Right.
But this is something that, if this is something you want, this is something I'll add. And then he started thinking about it. And then, we started coming up with something together. And then again, I started adding things without him knowing. So I added like a Canadian maple leaf, because he was one of the stars in the junior teams.
Yeah.
So I added that for him. I added his nickname, Duke, which he did ask me to remove, because he was like, listen, like, I don't need that, but I definitely love the maple leaf. Keep the maple leaf there.
Right.
Initially, he had asked me for the number 10. And then, because that was his number in Ottawa. And then, so I made the skate and I showed it to him and he was like, yeah, listen, man, I think you have to take off the 10. And then I was like, I'm not going to ask any questions, but okay, no worries. So, so there was no jersey number on his, but both his skates, his first skate that I made that he started the season with, both skates are black, but they're actually different. So one of them has the HDA logo. The other skate has the like the fist, the respect fist. They all have messages written on the holders, equality, empathy, and then like just a few months ago, he calls me up and he was like, "Hey man, I'm sending you another pair," and I was like, "Why?" It's like, I thought something was wrong.
Right.
So I was like, is it like did they break? Did they tear? Did it rip off? What happened? Why do you need another pair? And he was like, I wore out my skates. I need a new pair. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, but he can't. Like it's 2 months into the season or 3 months into the season. Like it was 21 games into the season. And then I was like, but like, what do you mean you wore out your skates? And then I started doing the math. I started doing the math, and I was like, okay, so 21 games was like, I think it was like 3-4. I think it was like 6 weeks into the season. And then I was like, okay, so he practices like 5 or 6 times a week,
right,
for like 2 or 3 hours a day. Then he plays 2 or 3 games a week. So I was like, this guy has spent like 300 hours on those skates in like a month. And I was like, in beer league, that's like 6 years.
Yeah. No joke.
And I was like, no wonder these guys are going through skates. I think they're on them all the time, right?
Right.
So, and he uses like one. So he's using it until it breaks, and then he gets another one.
He goes a new boot.
Like,
okay.
While other players that I've met,
rotate.
they alternate. Yeah.
Right.
So,
which is weird. Which is weird for me to think about as well, because I've like, once this boot's broken in, you're like, that's my boot.
Yeah, but you can break as much as they skate. They can break.
I was gonna say, I'm also not skating 7 times a week. I'm skating once a week.
Yeah, think about that. You could break a pair in and then get a new pair and just keep building a pile up. Like they're all perfect.
Yeah, it's like a different world. So I had to adjust to getting to know that. And then so he's like, yeah, I want another pair. And I was like, okay, you want the same design? And he was like, no. And now I was like,
and it's all on you.
yeah. So he's like, listen, now I want to add, because I've been telling him a lot, like, listen, the Panthers, red, gold, Black Lives Matter, red, gold, like red, gold. You got to get red, gold. And then he just said, he was like, listen, I want that red and gold. And I was like, oh, but then that reminded me that was the first pair of skates that I showed him that he eventually said was too flashy, but like now it's growing. The idea is growing that
you planted the seed early.
Yeah, you can change, you can be different, and you can have your own one-of-a-kind design.
Yeah.
So I made his skates. So I called them the Duke 2.0, and they were amazing. Like every time Florida plays and he's skating, there's like this red and gold patch that like you can see from anywhere, like from the camera angles, you can see it anywhere. I can see it anywhere.
That's my baby. That's my baby. Yeah. I know my baby.
There it is. So, and it's always cool because whenever he skates and something happens, whether it's a goal or assist or whatever, they always have to slow-mo him because he skates so fast. And then I was like, oh, no.
Yes, dude. Getting the close-ups for you.
Yeah, it's like it speaks for itself. But this is what Silk was saying before. Okay, so Duke has been on fire. And I joked with his dad, with his younger brother, and with Anthony himself. I said he got his brand new pair of skates and he wore them when he returned from injury. And when he returned from injury, I think for 6 or 7 games, he was on a point streak. And then, I joked with him. I was like, is it the skates? And then, he of course, he doesn't want to answer these things. To me, I joke with him because I think we have that relationship. And I'm so proud of him because he decided to go to Florida himself. Yeah. He represents himself. He's taking his own career into his own hands. And I think he made such a good move.
I think I'm glad to see him in a spot where he's blossoming.
Yeah. I'm just so proud of him. So then it was very recent that he got the 2.0s. And then he called me and he's like, I'm sending you another pair. And I was like, oh, why?
Man. Why?
Like,
what's wrong with these?
Well, yeah, exactly. So what's wrong? He was like, oh, I just need a new pair. And then I was like, so I kind of asked him, I'm like, listen, the news just came out that you clinched. Like, is this, and like, I don't know how superstitious this team is. So I'm like, without saying anything, is this the skate that's going to be used for the end of the season? Or like after the end of the season, those other games that you play are those the skates that you're gonna wear? And he was like, yeah, that's the skate that I'll be wearing for the rest of the season. So I'm super excited. I'm shipping them out tomorrow.
They're sitting right next to you. You're looking at them like, open the box,
like, yeah. So like,
peek.
Oh man,
so
fame. It's not happening. It's not happening. No sneak peeks.
They're sealed. They're sealed.
Yeah.
It's I have
weird flex.
Yeah. The best of flexes on the men behind the mitts here. That was a good one.
So stay tuned. Like, always be watching the Florida games, and whenever 91 in red or white is skating, just look at his skates. But these were the skates that kind of started the whole thing where kids started pointing. So that's like
a sticker bomb, man. I love that. That's old school as shit to me.
Yeah,
sticker bomb.
So this was the white edition skate.
Yes.
That like I found in the store, and I think they were released in like 2009. It was like 2018, and I found them. They're like $800 skates, and I found them. The guy was selling them for like $100. He was like, "Look, get them out of my store." And I was like, they were my size, so I was like, "Listen," and I bought them. Not knowing what I was gonna do, and then when I started looking at what I could do or what I wanted to do or things that I just dreamed of doing, I was like, you know what? I'm going as crazy as possible, as colorful as possible.
Right.
So anything could be like expressed on these skates. And then like when kids saw that, they were like, I want my stick like this. I want my skates like this. I want my helmet like this. And I was like, cool. Man. Go get your dad.
So let me ask.
Get your dad's credit card.
Yeah. I'm gonna change gears. One of my favorite skates on your Instagram is the Warriors, the lime green ones. I think you posted them back in March sometime. Those are one of my favorite skates. And what I noticed on these, you've got the Blade Tech blades on these skates. We just met Anthony a couple weeks ago. Fantastic human being, all around hockey guy.
Yeah.
The creativity level between your skates and the availability of what he can do with those blades.
Mm-hmm.
It
amplifies everything. Yeah,
it is endless. Like, man, you got I feel like you seized everything at the right time. And you said this has only been going on for a year, or like you're really getting involved heavily in this last year.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing, right? I never wanted any of this. I never thought of any of this. I was just doing a hobby for myself. Like,
that's so crazy.
When I was going, so I collect the jerseys. So I have a lot of vintage jerseys that are unique. And then I was like, okay, since I'm doing this and I could do this and this is my pastime, instead of painting my skate when I was 10 years old, I'm going to completely change my skate based on the jersey I'm going to wear at the ODR.
Man.
And it wasn't, I'm going to do this for the NHL or NHL players.
Man, you're the OG style guy. Like, no joke. Like, matching it's incredible.
It's all about style, and it's all about the look for the ODR. Okay. And it wasn't even for like beer league games. It was strictly for ODR because, like, even if you look at the EA Sports game, okay, the ODR option of the game, you can do whatever you want now. Okay, like this is where they're starting.
Oh, my guy's got a mullet. Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go. And it's all about like now with all these companies coming out with the flow, with the like, I don't have a 6-pack and I never will. And I don't want one. Okay.
No.
But now a guy like me with confidence in myself, I can take off my shirt and I could be looking the best because now like guys with dad bods, let's say, are celebrated as opposed to, the guy who spends 20 hours a day at the gym and doesn't eat. I've been eating the whole time.
Speaking to both my hearts. You're speaking to both my hearts here. Yeah. Like, because I love the dad bod, but I do. Yeah. I'm in, but no, like that's the thing. So, and I love where the core of all this is coming from is the confidence alone. Like the confidence in yourself, the individuality. And that's something that we talk a lot about. Like we've made changes. Like, just, it's crazy I talk to people outside of the pod that have nothing to do with the pod. and they're like, man, like you've changed so much in just this last year, like your work ethic and everything. And it's just like, well, that's what I'm finally getting to express myself that I've always wanted to express myself. I just never had the right outlet. And this is it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing. So when Anthony called me from Blade Tech, not Duke now. Now we're talking about Blade Tech. So he calls me up and he was like, listen, man, like you do some really cool stuff. Do you know about Blade Tech blades? And I had been working at the hockey store here, and I'm like, listen, man, I skate on a different steel, and I think they're the best steel. However, because I've not heard of Blade Tech doesn't mean that they don't exist and they're not good.
right.
So I told him, I was like, look, I associate myself with cool people. I associate myself with good products. I think I deliver quality. Therefore, if, you know, I have to try something out, I have to see it and I have to believe in like the product for me to promote it. So he's like, yeah, for sure. You know, let's discuss something. Check out my profile. I did. I was like, yo, listen, like right away, colors on blades. Like I used to paint my blades with a Sharpie, and it would, I mean, it wouldn't work.
Right.
So
the thought that you even had that thought, like I would have never, like when we met Anthony and he showed us Blade Tech blades, I was like, this is like something I never thought to change.
Oh yeah.
You only change your steel when it breaks or when it's whittled down to nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so for you to even take a Sharpie to it.
I've been doing that since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, it was so my holders, I used to Sharpie them. That was the closest I could get to painting that was like that would last the longest.
It's so hard on metal because I've tried to do it on my roller chassis before. It's thin, you can see through it.
Coats. You have to do coats. and then you know, that's the thing. Like I would spend like 3 days before a game just coloring my holder, you know, it's like,
for it to be gone probably.
It's like, hey, you want to go play outside? No, I got a game in 3 days. I got to paint my holders. You know, that's how it was. That's what I needed for me to think that I'm playing good. Is I needed to have that style. So when he called me and he said, listen, just we think we have a good product. We know we have a good product. We have a comparable to the brand you're using right now. Give us a try. I said, fine. So he sent me a pair of skates, a set of blades. And I was like, look, I'm doing a lot of pictures right now. I'm doing a lot of different things. If can I have 2 blades, different colors? And he was like, for sure. So I made one blade.
I love examples.
Blade Tech getting all the love.
Bro, green, black, and this one, if you look at my Instagram account, these were made for a North Stars skate. So I made a skate that was the Minnesota North Stars, and it was a very big skate on social media that I made. So I've been using these for a long time. I mean, the paint, like I have puck marks. But the paint has not gone off. So right away, and I sharpen skates too. So I was like, look, as soon as I sharpened them, I was like, you know what? Like this is a good metal. And then the second one was blue, red, and white.
We're a big fan of those.
Yeah. So I love the white. The white, I've seen a full white blade.
And that's dirt nasty.
On the ice, it's like, dude, you're gliding. Like
that's what that would look so hard.
It's insane. So when he sent me these, first of all, I loved the little box they came in.
The little holder. It's like a blade holder.
Yep. Yeah. So I love that. I love the blade itself. And then he was like, okay, listen, like I told him about my knee injury. And he's like, trust me, like, you know, with our flex force, you're going to feel the difference. And I started skating and I was like, oh, he got me because I don't feel nothing. And I'm skating and then, you know, I'm like, he said I'd be faster. I don't feel like I'm faster, but I'm also coming back from a knee injury, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, but then I started skating backwards, and I was like, hey, I feel different. I feel something. So now I'm skating backwards, and I'm like, I feel a lot more comfortable in crossovers backwards than I was before.
Right.
And then it wasn't in a straight line going forward that I felt it. Is when I started crossing over and doing like circles, I was like, oh yeah, I feel something. I can't say that I was feeling a flex, but I was feeling a spring. And then it was the next day where I was like, I'm not in pain right now.
Not sore, man.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh. So I completely had to take back everything that I was thinking during the game, because it's not during the game, it's after the game that I want that effect. And I listen, I developed a relationship with him. I went to Toronto. So I drove like 6 hours to go pick up his skates. He fed me. We went for sandwiches, like delicious sandwiches. And he's Italian, right? So he's like big on food. And man, just like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Good company, a good product. And yes, so like I always joke with him, because so I have to be creative for what I do. And then because we're like this, we're this unofficial partnership,
right?
You know, I always call him up and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this on these skates and I'm gonna need some blades. And then he's like, okay, well, what are you thinking on the blades? And I'm like, you're not gonna like what I'm thinking. And then sometimes they tell me, they're like, look, of course we could do it, but what you're asking is like, it's crazy, man. Like,
right.
You know, so I'm just like, okay, I gotta, you know, the skates that I do sometimes are a little bit out there, and then I have to compensate by a crazy blade design with a simple skate, or a completely insane skate design with a simpler blade. And we've got married so well. Like our two products together create something that there's no match for it. Like
you guys are changing the whole game, like learning all about like what Anthony does there at Blade Tech, and then learning all about what you do. You guys are changing the game. And how is this just like, it's almost like, how is this just now coming to fruition? Like in all the time that we've had skates and blades and everything, but it's right now that all this is coming together. It's so crazy.
Always been about tradition.
Yeah, but that's what you're very right. You're very right. And then now is the time, because now you've got these younger guys that are preaching, like, can these guys really bring their personality to the NHL?
You're
like
seeing
Austin
it more
Matthews.
now. Yeah, I was gonna say you're seeing it more now. Like Austin Matthews, CCM made those custom. The twigs had his name bigger and stuff on it. He had the skates painted. We saw Bauer during the World Juniors painted, you know, flat team flag colors and stuff on the skates for the guys. So you're starting to see it. You're like almost in like a little gold rush essentially for the hockey niche world. Like it's really starting to come. You're starting to see the skate skins, not to, you know, bring up other companies and stuff, but there's just so much different alleys now where guys can start to customize and express themselves through their equipment. I have a question though about the Blade Tech. Have you thought about mentioning that to the boys you work with, the you know, the pros, like, hey, you guys should check out Blade Tech. You know, we know that it's pro used and you can customize the colors. You know, have you mentioned that? Has that worked out?
So every pro skate that I make will get a Blade Tech blade.
That's dope.
Sent to them. Okay,
that's real dope.
That's 100%. So I'm doing a skate right now. I can't say for who, because it's like a surprise.
I like it.
But it is for a player on the Blackhawks.
Ooh,
and
let's go.
And so basically, we're making a skate. Like his friends hired me to do this.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well dope. That's real
and
dope.
it's not for him, it's for his kid.
Even more cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
man,
So-
Get the fucking tissues out. It's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
right.
It's really cool. So I have one skate that's gonna be all pink, and it's gonna be, I have to do a variation of the Blackhawks logo in shades of pink because the kid is a girl. And then the other skate is gonna be like traditional Blackhawk colors, but I'm gonna make my own kind of Blackhawk design.
Right.
And the player is sponsored by brand C. So
So
they.
it's not the guy I was thinking of. All right.
It's not Showtime. It's not Showtime.
That's my guy.
But you know what? Like, listen. I give you this much of a hint. The
Hey,
player.
when does this episode drop, and then when do these skates go out? Like, let's figure this out real quick.
So so right now the borders in Ontario are shut, so I can't go to Toronto. So I was told that whenever the borders are open, that's when I'm going back. I'm going to deliver, and that player is going back home to somewhere in Ontario, somewhere in the Toronto area, and he plays on the same line, or he has at some point in the season, as #Showtime. And so I was told that once these players see what it is that I'm doing, they're right away gonna go, this could be done.
Yeah.
Well, I want it done. And that's the thing, right? With players not knowing and companies not really offering it, like,
Right.
you know, Bauer did the Willie O'Ree skates, which was on point. They were super nice. CCM did the Austin Matthews skates, super on point. Okay, but what about all the other players that play with those brands?
That's a giant organization only doing one player, one skate.
Yeah,
like you are endless.
Yeah, I and that's the thing. I don't want to do teams. I don't want to do like I can do every single person on the Florida Panthers or on the Chicago Blackhawks or on the San Jose Sharks, and none of those players will have the exact same skates.
Right.
Because I won't do it. I'm going to make them. If they all wanted the Sharks logo, they would all get the Sharks logo in different variations. Eric Carlson would get a shark with a fucking sick flow. Okay. like
yeah,
you know,
so
Curtis,
legit, dude.
Curtis Gabriel would get a shark with fists instead of fins. You know, it's everybody has to have their own, not all the same. Their jerseys are all the same. Their gloves are all the same. So their skates are going to be different because they are individuals on a unit. So that's the thing that I really want to bring, is that everything is one of a kind. And everything is because that person, if that person is fine with the retail skate, that's fine. But if they want something unique because they want a different style, because they think it's going to make them feel better and then play better in a result of it, then yeah, they need to call me and it's going to get done very quickly.
Yeah.
Like that's...
Man, good.
Yeah.
I don't want to rap, but the way you just put that on, for how each team has their own individual player and that individual that they need to be celebrated, their individuality needs to be celebrated. I feel like that's a great place to wrap. We could talk for hours. I mean, we've already been going for almost 2 hours here, and time has flown by.
Yeah.
I feel like it's crazy. Like we've been rolling, man. We're on like an hour 50, and we've got so much more to talk about. Like, man, we're gonna have to touch back.
We're gonna get around too.
Yeah, we're gonna get around too, because I've got 7 questions that I didn't even get to ask, and it was just based off of what we talked about, that 15-minute meet and greet last night. You know, we just talked, and I was like, I didn't want to walk away from that, man. Like, I didn't want to walk away from that.
I shocked you guys with some big news, like, or something that I said yesterday.
Yeah,
I know you guys were shocked just your reactions and like Yeah, man. Whenever you guys want to
do we got time? Let's get into that story. I didn't want to pull you away from where we were, but we because we both have gone through that type, not that your exact scenario, but we have both we've restarted so many times from literally like, all right, this is it, all the eggs in the basket. But let's roll into it, Goob. Where did you leave? Let's roll into that story. Where did you leave us off the other day? Where did you leave us?
So we're what's the date today? Like May
8th, 7th,
May
9th. Wow.
May 9th. Okay, so May 4th of last year, so exactly a year ago, basically, I ended up homeless for about 3 weeks. And it wasn't like listen, like I I was living in Fort McMurray, Alberta, and there was a huge flood. Okay, this is like it was national news in Canada because 4 years prior to that there was fires that kind of burnt down the entire town.
Holy shit.
So I was living in an apartment by the river, super nice. My 2 dogs, and then like one morning I hear a knock at the door like at 6 a.m. and like this is very uncommon. So I opened the door and there's nobody there, and I was like, "What are you doing, man? It's like 6 a.m."
Yeah, 6 a.m. Okay? I got mad for you just now.
I'm upset. Okay, and I kind of go on my balcony. You know, my dogs didn't even react. They're like, "No, it's 6 a.m., right, dude. We're still in bed." And I call them my dogs, but through my Instagram, I call them my designers. They're like, they're part of the team.
Yeah.
So I go on my balcony, and I was kind of like on the first floor, and my balcony like looked over the garage, and I see my truck, and like there's a bunch of people standing outside, and I was like, what's going on? And I kind of look in the garage, and my truck, so I had a GMC Sierra, and half of the wheel and the entire like step, like the side steps of the truck, were underwater. And I was like,
whoa,
what is going on? And like the people outside, they're like, get your truck out. So everybody's rushing, and now it's 6 a.m. Okay, it's May 4th. The water is freezing. It's coming from the lake.
Right.
So I go out there, I don't have boots. I'm in my slippers. I'm frozen in like brown sewer water. And I get into my truck. I drive the truck out. And basically what had happened was within 11 hours, so within like the whole night, the water raised about 10 meters. So
10 meters.
10 meters. So hang on. What do you guys use?
Feet.
You guys use feet?
Yeah. So meters is more than feet. It's like in like a meter, like a foot and a half.
So a meter is I would have to say like, yeah, Google it.
Google, hold on. This is what we got these fancy phones here.
I think it's like 20 feet. 20 feet, maybe?
1 meter is 3.2 feet.
So 30 feet.
30 feet, the water level rose.
Yeah. So what had happened was there's like 3 rivers going through this town, and the ice had all broken up, but then the weather kind of like refroze it and they jammed. So no water was going.
It wasn't getting in the lake.
It was just rising. So within 11 hours, it just, and that's like everybody nuts. Who lived, everybody who lived by the water was just like evacuate. And then it was mandatory evacuations for certain places. And I was in a place where like the garage was flooded, so you couldn't park, but we were still under, it wasn't mandatory. And then like a few hours later, the cops came and they're like, listen, get your stuff. You got to leave.
Right.
So the Red Cross came in, rescue teams came in, and they're like, listen, you're going to go to this camp. However, your dogs have to go to like a shelter. And I'm like,
what?
Nope, not happening. My dogs are dependent on me. Okay. Like I take care of my dogs. And they're like, well, you can't go to the shelter. And I'm like, I don't need to then. I'm going to take care of my dogs. I take care of my own, and whatever happens, happens. And they're like, well, here are your vouchers for picking up food, picking up water, picking up essentials.
So this was like a full-on natural disaster then, for the area.
Yeah, it's a natural disaster.
And this was of May of 2020.
Yeah.
So this is like right when COVID's starting to pop off too. Yeah.
So it's like, so at this point I had, lost my job. And I basically at this point, I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
But I'm not working. I'm doing some skates for me. And then now I don't have a home, and I've made pretty good connections. And I have to shout out my buddy Ryan Wood from Fort McMurray and his wife Jenny. They let me come stay with my dogs in the garage. They set up a bed for me. They set up a couch for me. Everything was perfect for me to sleep there with my dogs.
That's awesome.
And then I would just basically go out every single day with my dogs into fields, just play with them.
Right.
I couldn't do much, I like all my tools for skates were still at home.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of COVID and the mercy of this water.
Yeah. And I couldn't go back in. They wouldn't let us, and there was too much water. So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I have a ton of skates in my apartment. I have all my tools for my skates in my apartment. If this water rises any more, I lose everything that I worked for. So, you can't even pray. You can't even think about this. You just gotta do what you gotta do. And I have my dogs to take care of. So I did what I could. And then eventually this lasted about, I have to say 3 weeks. And then they were saying that we could go back into our apartments to see what the damages were, to throw out all the garbage, to they shut off all the power. So all the food in the fridge was rotten.
Oh my gosh.
And I love ice cream. So guess what happened to my ice cream? Ice cream was all over the place. It was like a
mess.
It was a mess. But you know what? By the end of it, when I was able to go back into my house, that's exactly the time where Curtis Gabriel from the Sharks started writing to me. And I was like, and you know what? He was asking me questions, and I was like, I can do everything. And I didn't want anybody to know. It's not an excuse. Okay. If you want something from me, I'm going to work hard to get it done. And I think this is the first time, aside from my family or my friends or Ryan, who let me stay in his garage, nobody really knew what I was going through, because I was still able to deliver. And when people would ask me for something, I said, yes, I will do it. I did skates. I drove to Toronto one time. This guy asked me for something. I went to his house. I did his skates in his kitchen. Because he wanted something and I wanted to deliver, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it, because somebody took an interest in what I liked.
Yeah.
So,
man,
I just had to.
I know you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it plenty of times, but that right there, your drive alone is going to change this. This is all, you've got nothing but this. There's no limit, is what I'm getting at with you. Goob, your drive, your passion about what you do, you're 110% in, you want to deliver, you make it about the customer, you do things, you go above and beyond, and you are the true artist that they don't even know what they want, and you pull it out and deliver. And not just deliver on the skate, you hand deliver it to them 6 hours away. You're making all these, hats off. And I can't believe
the way you overcome all the obstacles.
Everything.
So
there's no words. I'm almost speechless.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring.
Yeah. It's just another it's just like another statement of how like there's no excuses. Like, you know what I mean? You're only limited by what you limit yourself by.
Yeah.
And no matter obviously, no matter what type of external, you know, limitations you had, you still overcame that. Water, staying at someone else's residence. Like, we've all been there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's something I hate to go 100% off topic, but that's something I preach on, that we're all the same. Like, we've all been through the struggles. It's just, it's how you handle it and how you decide to come out of it is what makes you who you are and what makes you the best version of you, in my opinion. And, you know, we've all been there. Silk and I have had our battles, you know, and now we're here, and to be able to share that. I mean, that there's not one person going to listen to this and not be inspired. It's insane. Like, I've got chills sitting here learning about you and your story and where you've gone and come from.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came on the show. I am.
Yeah, and knowing
you.
This is just the tip of the iceberg for you. Like, you've got a couple contacts, and these guys are going to see the work you're doing, and the sky's the limit for you, Goob. It's so awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a long road. It was, I could have quit multiple times. Exactly. Anytime, multiple times. Yeah. It's like, and maybe I should have at some point, because it would have been the right thing to do at that point. But in the long run, I love what I do, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't. Man. So, and that's the thing. As crazy as I can get my thoughts to go, I have suppliers, I have blade tech, I have my partners, I have friends that now encourage me. I have suppliers where I tell them, I'm like, listen, I want things to change colors. I want things to shake. I want things to move. And then they're like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, yo, listen, this is what you do. So you do what you do, make sure that it's what I want. And then, you know, I'll do what I do. And then they come out and they're like, well, this was hard, but we got it done. And I'm like, and that's why we work together, because I think of things that they don't think of. You know, Anthony will call me from Blade Tech and he'll be like, yeah, listen, we're doing this. And I'm like, oh. And then I start thinking about certain things that I wasn't thinking of before. When DUCLAIR called me, and he was like, when he knew kind of what he wanted, and then I could kind of play off that too. And then we both kind of reach a level where, like, okay, this is exactly what we want. It's, you know, creativity comes in so many levels. Mm-hmm. And you can't make fun of anybody who wants to think differently, because that person literally might change the world. Yeah. And not like the world, like the planet, but like the world they're living in, whether it's like the small niche of hockey, whether like the guys who are painting their shoes in basketball or in football, like at first, the first guy who did it was like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It's stupid.
I think it was like OBJ. OBJ was,
yeah.
I mean, there's been other guys, but I think he was one of the more popularized ones that did it.
And now everybody, right?
Everybody.
And like I don't know who started this, but my trend on two skates being different was, I've been doing this for a while. And then LeBron was wearing two different colored shoes. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
I used to rock different laces. I used to rock black laces in my etnies and white ones on my other foot, like on my other foot. Like, I used to do that, like, back in the day.
So I started buying shoes that now I buy shoes that come in different colors, and then I'll buy 2 or 3 pairs of those exact shoes.
Let me put you on, because I'm a sneakerhead. You're gonna really like these. They came out a while ago. Nike SB What the Dunk. Yeah. Every single piece of the shoe is different. Zebra, cement, yellow, green. Every single piece is different.
Yeah.
They're pricey as fuck. I think they were like $1,500, but that's like the holy grail of
dunks. Yeah, I remember those dunks, and I was like, bro, because it reminded me of the old Volkswagen, how every panel in the car was a different color. Yeah, the Harlequin. Yeah, every panel was different. I'm like, bro, like,
check them out.
Yeah, that is unique. Like, that is something that people look for.
So I'm right now, I have 5 pairs of DC shoes, the Callus lights. So they were like a regular sneaker. I don't think they were a skate shoe, but they came in a ton of colors, and I bought 5 pairs, all different colors, and I switched them up. One thing that, as a sneakerhead, you guys will appreciate, I posted it up recently, and like I did a poll on whether I should paint them or leave them like OG, and thank God people voted for the OG because and it was close. It was like 54 to 46. I have the Iverson first editions, and I have the Iverson in black, and then I have the rarest white. And I did try, like the white ones, I've never worn them. I tried them on, and then I put them both on, like one black, one white, and I was like, if Allen Iverson would have ever like lived in this era, he was he was swag, he was style, he was, and he
was ahead of his time for sure,
way ahead of his time. And you know what? Those shoes were like,
I had the black and silver ones.
The first ones, the answer ones.
I think where they had like the part that came up in the middle. It was like black and silver. I can't even remember what they look like now. Damn. I had a pair of Iversons though.
They kind of had the wave in it was like a this. So like the toe is here and the heel is here, and it kind of went like this. Yeah. Like a shark fin. Yeah. So those ones, I don't know what number they are, but those ones were made popular because he like walked over a guy, and like, so those aren't the ones that I have, but yeah, those ones were the most popular ones. Yeah. But yeah, he was way ahead of his time. It was the shoes were just, they were different. You know, like everybody had the Jordans, and the Jordans were always different every year. But the Iversons, when they came out, it was like, okay, this is futuristic. This is not yet what we could wear.
Right.
But man, they're awesome.
Yep.
They're awesome.
Man.
And you know what? I played basketball in high school. I had the first edition Iversons, and I painted them. and you know what? Like I had to, because another guy on my team had them, and I was like, no,
not happening.
No, I need mine to be different. I need to have the GUBY edition Iverson.
Yeah.
And so I did. I took back then it was like 98. So I took a Sharpie to them. I had a red one, a silver one, and a black one. And then I just added silver, red, and black to the entire shoe. I don't want to say that it looked good. Because I did, I failed many times with a lot of the things that I tried. And it's not about the fail. It's about the next time you try.
Yep.
And there always has to be a next time, because when you stop, then that's when you've failed. And you know what? Like, I've been told so many times that I should. I'm not ready to, because
you're just getting started. You're just getting started, bro.
I think so. I think so too. And I'm really excited with everybody that I meet, with everybody that I work for, or work with.
Man. Yeah, I was gonna say work with. More importantly, man, you really make the connection where it's beyond just beyond a sale. Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this.
And I meet people who are business oriented, and I don't like it, because it's not honest. It's not a real connection. It's based on numbers or dollars or whatever. And I kind of got comfortable with a price where I can charge little kids and their parents and pros the exact same thing, and everybody can be like, that's a good price.
Understandable.
And I'm not going to say like, okay, you're a pro, I know what your contract is.
Right.
Okay, it's public. Right. I'm not going to charge you a percentage of your contract. I charge you a flat rate, the same flat rate that I'm going to charge a kid because that kid is going to shake my hand. That pro is going to shake my hand. And we're not having a different type of relationship.
Right.
We have the same relationship. So, the little kid, high five, he loves his skates. He's super happy. The pro, high five, the FaceTime or whatever, and he's super happy too. And they both use their skates. The pro is using it as a tool for his job. The kid is using it as something to maybe build confidence for his life.
Yeah.
And
set the tone right there.
I'm just happy that I could like do whatever I do to make anybody happy.
Yeah, I think you said, I mean, I think that's the perfect spot to wrap, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for joining us on the pod, man. It's been so educating, man. We've been so lucky and blessed lately with these interviews and stuff. And you really brought a lot to the table, Goob. And we appreciate you. Can't wait to continue to watch your business blossom, and definitely looking out for those skates in the show, man. It's exciting.
Well, so yeah, watch Florida games. Hang on, let me. This is it. This is finished.
Hey.
So Florida
was tight. Great guy. Texting right now. We're scheduling episode number 2. We're getting him back on.
Yeah, no joke, man. I feel like we could have gone. That could have been a 4 or 5 hour podcast easily. There was so much I wanted to keep talking about. I think I only asked like 3 or 4 real questions, and then we just got lost in the stories. And I mean, wow, what a ride! I mean, what from everyone he's been in contact with from the NHL to a year ago,
started at the bottom
and almost losing.
Exactly.
Almost
started at the bottom. Now we're here. Like, whoa.
Dude, and we talked about it earlier. It literally shipped out Anthony DUCLAIR's playoff round 1 hockey skates the day after the interview. They were sitting in a box right there. I wanted him to open that box so bad, but I know he couldn't do it. He showed it, man, the examples that he showed us. I'm telling you guys, make sure you check out his Instagram for sure. GUBY_customs. He can really do it all. Definitely add the flair you're looking for. And dude, to top it off, of course, Gooby and Anthony would have a business relationship. Talk about knocking out of the park.
Yeah. It's so tight to hear how everything just came together for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the timeline of everything. That was one of my favorite EPPYs so far, man. He's a great guy. And
for sure.
That he's hard for Ovi, boy, living in Montreal. That's so tight to see an outside perspective on the Washington Capitals. So big Caps guy already has our blessing. So another stop on the road trip when Canada decides to open their fucking borders.
Yeah, bud. Yeah. I was so happy to hear that he was like Ovi's biggest fan. He's all about him right out of the draft. Knew what was coming. Everything. It's good to have it's like you said. It's good to hear that from someone else who's not in the DMV.
Also goes to show you that like what Ovi did for the NHL. Like we talked about it before,
right?
For the Washington area, but the NHL alone, a guy comes in wearing red holders during Olympics with a mirror visor, and then he's doing the slide on his back, scoring, like getting his teeth knocked out, coming back versus Montreal, and scoring a hattie. Like that's the type of shit, or the back and forth hat tricks in the same game versus Sidney Crosby. Like that's the shit you need. And how do you not root for a guy like that, no matter where you live? You know.
Living legend, man. Yeah. Living legend.
Instant Hall of Famer.
Definitely impacted BC in the game of hockey.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Again, what an interview, guys. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys had fun and definitely enjoyed Gooby on the pod. We're going to have part 2, like I said, because I feel like that was the tip of the iceberg with Goob, and I feel like we got a lot to cover there still. But be sure to check it out on YouTube, guys. Actually, our YouTube, I'm sorry, over at Men Behind the Mitts. Make sure you're checking out everything on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Like, subscribe, share, comment. We love the feedback. The more feedback we get, the more eyes we get in front of, guys. So we do rely a lot on you. And as always, thank you for doing that. It means the world. We know you guys are sharing and helping us out. We love it. We love you. But yeah, we definitely need your help to continually grow and get out there, guys. So definitely smash the like and the share button.
Yeah, definitely, guys. As always, the Instagram live is popping. It's not going to stop. We got big things coming. We'll always keep you guys entertained. That's for damn sure. So check us out on the Instagram lives. We got some good guests coming on there. We're gonna do little small interviews on there. Just have some people on there chat up. You know, Come out, check that out as well. That's a big thing that we're looking to do coming forward. Silky Mitts Hockey Club got some new stuff dropping.
Yep.
Excited for that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, shorts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats. It's all gonna drop. It's good.
Let me tell you the tie-dye hoodie.
Oh, yeah,
the tie-dye hoodie, bro. Everyone I talk to, dude, everyone I talk to is like, bro, cannot wait to order it. I'm like, yeah, I know. So you just make sure you order it and keep the boys going here. Like, they're like, dude, like, it's so fire, bro. It's wild. From everyone, from my girl to my mom to me, like, dude, everyone. Like, even Amanda was just like, I'm all over it. She's like, I can't wait for that to be live. I'm like, yes, dude. Like, the hoodie's definitely gonna be flying off the shelf, bro. Real excited for you on that one. Real excited for the company. Oh, yeah. Killer design. Nailed it on that one. On that note, guys, make sure to check out silkymittshc.com. Like Silk was saying, check us out over there. Keep the boys going. You can get your Men Behind the Mitts tee there. Your original Silky Mitts right here, guys. This is the OG press right here. It's why it's behind me. It's why it's here, guys. Men Behind the Mitts, episode 51. Next week, we got stuff coming at you. Anniversary, 1 year. Men Behind the Mitts. That's all I'm saying. We're wrapping 51. Let's get out of here. We love you guys. And as always, be well.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at silkymittshc.com.